is Bob Murphy with Ralph Kiner and Lindsey Nelson, greeting you from Shea Stadium, Game 2 of the 4-game series with Leo DeRocher, Chicago Cubs. The weather much better tonight than last night. It has warmed considerably. We had a very strong wind during the afternoon period. That wind has now subsided, and we have a very comfortable evening for the ball game. The sky is partly cloudy, no threat of rain at all, and the wind now has subsided to the point that it will not be a factor in the game, at least not at the moment. The starting pitchers in tonight's game, for the Chicago Cubs, it will be veteran right-hander Mel Pappas, and on the mound for the New York Mets, the flame-throwing right-hander Nolan Ryan. We'll be back with the start of tonight's game in just 1 minute. Now here's...
Notice all the robins you see around lately? No, not the kind that fly south for the winter. The great new chain of robin gas and service stations that has been springing up all over the area. Everywhere you look, there's a new one, ready and waiting to give you the finest service and that great robin gas wherever you are in the area. One stop at any convenient robin location will tell you the meaning of the word service and service station. They are in business to please you. Let them know what you want, what you expect when you drive in. They'll appreciate knowing, and by offering you the kind of treatment you expect, they'll appreciate your continued patronage. Visit one of these robin stations soon. Tom W. and Tommy Lizio on Chestnut Street and the Arterial. Joe Lizio at 390 North Perry Street in Johnstown. And Dick Stock at 198 South Main Street in Gloversville. Also, Peds Electric, 150 East State in Johnstown.
Now here at Shea Stadium, Gil Hodges bringing the lineup card out for the New York Mets. He will meet with field captain Ron Santo of the Cubs and Tony Vince's umpiring team. For the lineups and batting orders prior to tonight's game, let's touch bases with Ralph Kiner.
Okay, Bob Murphy, and for the Cubs, the leadoff batter will be the shortstop, Don Kessinger. Batting second and playing second base, Glenn Beckert. Batting third in left field, Billy Williams. Batting fourth, the third baseman, Ron Santo. Batting fifth and playing right field, John Callison. Batting sixth in center field, Joe Pepitone. Batting seventh and playing first base, Ernie Banks. Batting eighth and catching, Danny Breeden, and the pitcher, Mel Pappas, batting ninth. For the New York Mets, Bud Harrelson will be leading off. He'll be at shortstop. Batting second and playing second base, Ken Boswell. Batting third in right field, Dave Marshall. Batting fourth and playing left field, Cleon Jones. Batting fifth, the first baseman, Ed Kranepool. Batting sixth and playing third base, Bob Aspromonte. Batting seventh, the catcher, Jerry Grote. Batting eighth and playing center field, Don Hahn, and the pitcher, Nolan Ryan, batting ninth. Tommy Agee, again not available for starting duty due to a pulled rib in the rib cage. Rib bothering him so much that he is unable to perform at top efficiency. He was a pinch hitter in last night's ball game and came up with the winning base hit as the Mets won in extra innings. Mets have won 7 of their last 8 ball games. The Cubs have won 5 of their last 8. And the Mets on top in the Eastern Division in the National League by 1 game over Pittsburgh with a record of 13 wins and 8 losses. Make that 14 wins and 8 losses. Cubs are in 5th place. They trail by 5 games. They have won 10 and lost 14. This is the second game of a 4-game series. In tomorrow night's ball game, it's going to be Jim McAndrew pitching for the Mets and Fergie Jenkins going for the Chicago Cubs. The final game of the series will see Tom Seaver on the mound for the Mets on Thursday afternoon, and the Cubs will be pitching Bill Hand. After the series with the Cubs, the St. Louis Cardinals come in for a 3-game series, playing Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and Sunday, and then Houston playing Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday afternoon to close out the homestand. The umpires for the game tonight, Bob Engel will be calling the balls and strikes behind home plate. Tony Vincent will be at first base. Stan Landis will be calling the plays at second, and Mel Steiner will be the umpire at third. This broadcast comes to you through the courtesy of Rheingold Breweries Incorporated and is authorized under radio rights granted by the New York Mets solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the description and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Mets is prohibited. Ron Santo, the captain of the Cubs, has gone back to the dugout Gil Hodges still talking at home plate with the umpiring crew as we wait for the Mets to take the field. Only one other game played in the major leagues yesterday, and that was the Philadelphia-St. Louis game with the Phillies winning by a score of 3-2. In the Eastern Division, it's the Mets on top by 1, Pittsburgh in second place, Montreal in third, in a virtual tie with St. Louis, 2 games back, Chicago in 5th place, 5 games out, and Philadelphia in 6th place, and they are 6 games behind. In the Western Division, the San Francisco Giants hold a 6-game lead over the Atlanta Braves. Los Angeles in third, 6.5 games back. Houston in 4th place, 7 games back. Cincinnati, the National League champions last year, are in 5th place, 8.5 games back. And San Diego in 6th place, 13 games out. And now the Mets take the field. Nolan Ryan on the mound for the New York Mets. Nolan will be going for his 3rd victory. He has a record of 2-0, 1 win against the Cubs. And going for the Chicago Cubs will be veteran Mel Pappas. And now from Shea Stadium, our national anthem. From Shea Stadium and the Mets and Cubs in the 2nd game of this series. If you're around the area and you haven't made your plans for the evening, why don't you come on out and join us here at Shea? We have parking available and good seats available on what has turned out to be a pleasant night for baseball. Nolan Ryan going for the New York Mets and Mel Pappas pitching for the Cubs. At the end of 2, St. Louis and Philadelphia, no score. Jerry Royce pitching for the Cardinals against Chris Short. Houston was scheduled in Montreal, and that game was postponed because of rain. Also on the schedule, Pittsburgh at San Francisco, Cincinnati at Los Angeles, and Atlanta playing against San Diego. In the American League all-night ball games, Yankees are scheduled against the Twins in a twilight ball game. Kansas City 2, Cleveland 0. The winning pitcher in that ball game was Dal Canton. The losing pitcher was Hargan, no home runs. Oakland scheduled against Detroit, California against Baltimore. In that ball game, Tom Murphy pitching for the Angels against Jim Palmer, who is 4-0. Washington scheduled against Milwaukee, coming off a 4-game losing streak. All 4 games lost to the White Sox. And Boston scheduled against Chicago. They have won 4 straight. So that's the way the schedule looks, and we'll keep you right up to date with the scores of those ball games as this ball game progresses on down the line. Now Nolan Ryan with his last warm-up pitch. The throw on down to second base, and the ball around to Bud Harrelson, Bob Aspromonte, and back to the mound. And here for the play-by-play, Bob Murphy.
All right, Ralph, here we go. Game 2 of this 4-game series. The Mets winning in extra innings last night. The 3rd time in the last 4 games they have won in overtime. Nolan Ryan beat Chicago in relief during the series at Wrigley Field. He was the winning pitcher in the 12-inning Friday game. Nolan with a lifetime record against the Chicago Cubs. 4 wins and 1 loss. This year, Ryan has won 2 and lost none. In addition to the victory he picked up in relief against the Cubs. As a starting pitcher in St. Louis, he hurled 6 scoreless innings and was the winning pitcher. Switch hitter Don Kessinger leading off against Nolan Ryan, and the fastball is outside, ball 1. Ryan walked 8, struck out 5 in his 6 innings against St. Louis. Inside, ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. And we have a very comfortable night for the game. The 2-0 delivery, high, ball 3. In the infield, the Mets are playing Ed Kranepool at first. Ken Boswell is at second. Bud Harrelson playing short. Bob Aspromonte at third. And a strike, 3-1. Cleon Jones, the left fielder. Don Hahn filling in for Tommy Agee in center field, and Dave Marshall is around and right. Ball 4. Kessinger opens the game with a walk. Jerry Grote behind the plate. For the Chicago Cubs, Harry Peanuts Lowry on the coaching lines at third, and Joey Amalfitano is on the lines at first. Second baseman Glenn Beckert, 1 for 5 in the game last night. Beckert hitting at .305. The pitch by Nolan Ryan. Curve is low, ball 1. Billy Williams is the on-deck batter. This will be an anxious evening for second baseman Kenny Boswell. His wife is in the hospital, and they are expecting the arrival of their first child any moment. Now the 1-0 pitch by Noli. Fastball on the inside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Might very well be that sometime during the course of this ball game, Ken Boswell will learn whether he's the father of a boy or a girl. Here's the pitch on the way. Foul ball back, no play. Ball and 2 strikes on Glenn Beckert. Billy Williams, the on-deck hitter, and then Ron Santo. Now Ryan checks the runner. Here's the pitch on the way. Fastball high. And the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. A night game tomorrow night, an afternoon game Thursday. Joe Torre and the Cardinals will be here Friday night. Kessinger leads off. Foul. Back up toward our broadcasting booth. No play. And again, Grudy walks out to the mound with Nolan Ryan. The New York Mets, as a team, right now are within 1 point of leading the National League in team batting. Team batting average of .268. The Atlanta Braves lead the National League, hitting .269 as a team. And the Mets, as a team, have the lowest ERA in the league. Curve of beauty, strike 3 called. Anytime Nolan Ryan gets that curve ball over, it is a super pitch for him. As pitching coach Rube Walker says, have a little patience. When the day comes, and it will come, that Nolan Ryan gets command of his 3 pitches and can throw all 3 for strikes, and the hitters can't gear up for any one pitch. He then will really be something to watch. Kick of the leg, around comes the arm, swing and a miss, and a curveball, strike 1. Nolan Ryan with that exceptional fastball. And a super curveball when he gets it over, and he also will change up. Now Ryan steps off. Kessinger on first.
WYZR AM now leaves the air until 6 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Hit his 6th home run of the year in the game last night. Last year, Billy Williams hit 42 home runs. He drove in 129 runs. Pitch by Ryan, fastball high and tight, 1 ball and 1 strike. Ryan's mound opponent tonight, veteran right-hander Mel Pappas. And a throw to first is not in time. Ryan's last outing, he started against the Cardinals and hurled 6 scoreless innings. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Up until last year, Ryan had his career hampered by a blister he used to raise on his pitching hand. He has not had that problem last year or this year. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Billy Williams. Here's the pitch on the way, high and inside. And the count is 2-2. Ryan used to have the blister problems. He experimented with all kinds of things. Pickled brine, soaking his hand in it. He is happy to be rid of that problem. The 2-2 delivery, curve inside, ball 3. Now let's watch Don Kessinger and see if Leo has him running. The runner goes. The pitch fouled. Back upstairs. No play. So Kessinger, who was on his way, heads back to first base. And the count remains 3-2 on Billy Williams. In 9 1/3 innings this year, Nolan Ryan has struck out 8 hitters. Since he first started in professional baseball, including his minor league career and his major league career, Ryan has averaged about a strikeout an inning. Now Kessinger is on the go. The pitch inside, ball 4. Ryan threw the curve on 3-2, and it broke inside. Cleanup batter Ron Santo is hitting .293 with 4 home runs and 17 RBIs. Last year, the Cubs had 3 hitters who hit 25 or more home runs and drove in 100 or more runs. The Cubs are the only team in the league who could say that. But Billy Williams, Ron Santo, and Jim Hickman all had over 25 homers and all had over 100 RBIs. The infield looking for the double play. And the curve is low, ball 1. Fastball ticks the back. Caught by Jerry Grote. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ryan delivers. Way inside, crowding Ron Santo. He had to move quickly out of the way. It's 2 balls and a strike. Ryan struggling with his control here in the first inning. Ryan did not have good control against St. Louis, but he did have the command of that big pitch. When he got himself in a jam and had to be in there, he was able to do it. The 2-1 pitch. Inside, ball 3. He is about to be in that position again. The count 3-1 on Ron Santo. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, 3-2. And again, let's keep an eye out now on the base runners and see if Chicago will be in motion. Kessinger is on second, Billy Williams on first. 1 man away, and the count is 3-2 on Ron Santo. Leo DeRocher has Johnny Callison hitting number 5. He's the on-deck batter. The runners take a lead. They're holding up the pitch. Struck him out. Leo held the runners up, and wisely so, as Nolan Ryan struck out Ron Santo. He got him with a fastball. Now there are 2 away. Here is Johnny Callison, the veteran outfielder. First came up with the White Sox, then was traded over to the Phillies, and he spent 10 years in Philadelphia. Now in his second year with the Chicago Cubs. Here's the pitch on the way. He jams him, and it's fouled beyond the reach of Grote, back into the crowd. And the winning run scored in last night's game. Tommy Agee delivered a pinch single to right field. It came on 3-2. Grote on second was running with the pitch. It was probably a good thing that he was running with the pitch, because anytime you get a base hit in front of Johnny Callison, he has one of the real outstanding throwing arms among the outfielders. Ryan off the stretch. And a fastball inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ryan thought that should have been a strike, and he fusses a little bit with Bob Engel. By winning last night, the Mets now have won 6 extra inning games without a loss. They have won 8 of 10 games decided by the margin of 1 run. They've played only 22 games, and 10 of the 22 by 1 run. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Callison. And the Mets, a hot ball club, have now won 7 of their last 8. They won 4 in a row in St. Louis, took 2 out of 3 in Houston, and came home to win last night. The 1-2 delivery. He struck him out, swinging. Ryan fans the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 were left on. In the middle of the first inning, the Cubs nothing, and the Mets are coming to bat.
Ken Hansen of the Tri-Still Cycle Shop on the Stoner Trail Road invites you to stop in and see what makes a Kawasaki a Kawasaki. Models like the 500's Mach 3, a jet aircraft at the open road and the fastest production motorcycle in the world. This 3-cylinder, 2-cycle screamer makes it through the quarter-mile traps in 12.4 seconds, and its top speed is 124 miles per hour. Or the great new Kawasaki 250 Enduro. Alive with rough country power, the big word for 71 is Enduro. And the newest Kawasaki to earn the name is the 250E. A Taui forks combined with multi-adjustable rear suspension provides Enduro handling and comfort like you have never seen or felt. Handling characteristics that can come only from superior Kawasaki engineering. The Enduro is also available in a competition version. See this new one for $71 along with a complete Kawasaki line at the Tri-Still Cycle Shop. Stoner Trail Road in Tri-Still.
Mel Pappas pitching tonight for the Chicago Cubs. Pappas beat the Mets a game at Wrigley Field on the last road trip. His last outing, Pappas was involved in quite a pitching duel with Chris Short of Philadelphia. He lost the game to the Phillies 1-0. This year, Milt Pappas has won 3 and lost 2. He has a lifetime record against the Mets of 7 wins and 6 losses. Bud Harrelson leading off against Pappas. Tries to bunt his way on. It goes foul, strike 1. Buddy Harrelson has hit safely in 14 of his last 15 ball games. Buddy is hitting .298. Second in the National League in stolen bases, trailing only the Cardinals' Lou Brock. Here's the windup, pitched by Pappas. A grounder hit down to first. Ernie Banks bobbles it, picks it up, goes to the bag in time for the out. 1 out and nobody on. Now here's Ken Boswell coming up. And this is an interesting night in the life of Ken Boswell, where while he plays this ball game tonight for the Mets, he also is waiting for a phone call back in the clubhouse to let him know whether he's the proud father of a baby boy or a baby girl. Might very well be that the baby will be born while this ball game is being played. Dave Marshall comes out on deck. Now veteran Milt Pappas delivers. High, outside, ball 1. Pappas is still a hard thrower. He has what is considered to be one of the best sliders among National League pitchers. The 1-0 delivery. Breaking ball on the corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cubs with the outfield deep and around to right. And a curve popped up into shallow left field. Billy Williams, the left fielder, jogging in slowly, has it for the out. There are 2 away, nobody on. Dave Marshall will be hitting. Dave is hitting .371, 13 hits and 35 times at bat. Cleon Jones, batting cleanup, moves out on deck. The Mets are home for a 10-game stand. This is game 2. High and away, it's ball 1. It'll be a fun weekend here at Shea with the St. Louis Cardinals coming in. The Mets and the Cardinals play a night game Friday night, a Ladies' Day game Saturday, and a single game Sunday. High and away, 2-0 on Dave Marshall. Joe Pepitone, the Cubs center fielder, deep to right center against Dave Marshall. Pitching 2-0. Inside, ball 3. The Chicago Cub infield has Ernie Banks at first. Glenn Beckert playing a couple of steps into the outfield against Marshall at second. Don Kessinger is the shortstop with Ron Santo at third. And a call, strike 3-1, Marshall was taking. Billy Williams in left field, Joe Pepitone in center, Johnny Callison around and right. Danny Breeden is the catcher. 3-1 delivery. Ball 4, Marshall draws a walk. Now Cleon Jones. Cleon batting .276, the club leader in runs batted in with 13. Now right-hander Mel Pappas getting his sign from Danny Breeden. Eddie Kranepool is the on-deck hitter. And a foul tip, strike one. Gil Hodges has the Mets doing a good job of watching the strike zone. Mets are drawing a lot more walks this year than they ever have before. And a half swing, but it's ruled a strike. And Pappas has a two-strike count on Cleon Jones. The Cubs got Mel Pappas from the Atlanta Braves in the middle of last season, and he pitched extremely well for Chicago. Mel Pappas, still a young man, but already a real veteran. There goes the runner. The pitch is fouled, out of play. Marshall running on the pitch. Mel Pappas broke in with the Baltimore Orioles at the age of 19, back in 1957. Now Marshall edging away. He's running again. The pitch, a line drive, base hit to right field. Marshall around second will go on to third. Runners at first and third. Beautiful hit and run play by Cleon Jones. Cleon hitting behind the runner on a hit and run play. Perfect execution. Runners at first and third. Ed Kranepool, the batter. We pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
You are listening to WIZR FM, coming your way from Johnstown, New York.
Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner. Eddie Kranepool takes the fastball at the knees, calls strike one. Dave Marshall on third, Cleon Jones on first. There are 2 men away, last half of the first inning. No score. Now Pappas off the stretch. Here's the pitch. Way outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Eddie Kranepool batting .341. 6 runs batted in. The 1-1 delivery just missed inside. It's 2 balls and a strike. Bob Aspromonte will be hitting next. Pepitone, the center fielder, playing Kranepool deep and over to right center. And again, Beckert, the second baseman, on the rim of the outfield grass. Pitching 2-1. Popped up foul. It may not be playable. Back comes Danny Breeden, the catcher, and he has room. Drops the ball. Danny Breeden had it in his glove for a moment and dropped it. So Kranepool is given a life. It will be an error charge to catcher Danny Breeden. Breeden right up against the backstop. Had actually run under the ball and had to lunge back to try and get it. The count is 2-2 on Eddie Kranepool. Eddie gets a second chance. Dave Marshall on third, Cleon Jones on first. And the pitch to Kranepool, a ground ball on the right side of the infield. Glenn Beckert grabs it, throws to Banks, the side is out. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 were left on. At the end of 1 inning at Shea Stadium, the Chicago Cubs nothing, the New York Mets nothing. Well, here's a note of interest for all you senior citizens who look forward to spending a pleasant afternoon at Shea Stadium watching the Mets in action. The first of 3 Senior Citizens Day is scheduled for Wednesday afternoon, May the 12th. That'll be a week from tomorrow. The Mets will be winding up their 10-game homestand against the Houston Astros at 2:05 p.m. And all senior citizens 60 years of age and over will be admitted to Shea Stadium that day for a 50-cent service charge. We hope you'll join us for a very relaxing, fun day here at the beautiful stadium. We'll look forward to seeing you. We'll also look forward to seeing many of you gals that day, too, because it's Ladies' Day as well, when members of the fairer sex also will be admitted to Shea for the usual 50-cent service charge. And the date again is Wednesday afternoon, May 12th, 1 week from tomorrow, when the Mets meet the Astros in a single game at 2:05. Joe Pepitone hitting at .317. Faces Nolan Ryan in the top of the second. They have more bad weather in Montreal. The Expos have had to postpone their game with Houston tonight. And a foul hit back into the crowd, no play. Good pitch by Ryan. He jammed the hitter and hit him right off the fist. St. Louis playing in Philadelphia. The Cardinals got 2 in the 4th inning. St. Louis 2, Philadelphia nothing after 3.5. Young left-hander Jerry Royce pitching for the Cardinals, and veteran left-hander Chris Short pitching for the Phillies. Hit in the air to deep left center field. A long run for Don Hahn. Way back over his head. Bounces off the wall. Cleon grabs it. And Pepitone goes into second with a double. Well hit double to distant left center by Joe Pepitone. Ball landed on the warning track and almost bounced over the fence at the 396 mark. Cleon Jones cutting over, played the ball coming off the wall. There is the first hit of the game for Chicago, and it brings up Ernie Banks. Ernie, just getting back into action, has been up only 11 times this year, has 2 base hits. The pitch by Nolan Ryan, inside ball 1. Houston and Montreal postpone rain tonight. That, by the way, is the 7th postponement for Montreal. They're going to wind up with a lot of doubleheaders. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Taken high. Can you imagine the excitement we're going to have here in New York, the way Willie Mays and the Giants have gotten off this year? Giants are at home now, hosting Pittsburgh. The Reds are playing at Dodger Stadium, and the Atlanta Braves are in San Diego. San Diego has lost 7 straight. Now the 2-0 delivery. Swing and a miss on a fastball, 2-1. The Giants will come to New York for the first time this season in early June. Actually, the series will open. Ryan falls behind on Ernie Banks, 3-1. I was looking at the road schedule. The Giants are here on the 11th. Foul back into the screen. The Giants will be at Shea Stadium on June 11th, June 12th, and June 13th. The June 11th game is a Friday night game. The 12th, a Saturday afternoon game, and the 13th, a Sunday afternoon game. Ryan has a 3-2 count on Ernie Banks. Joe Pepitone on second, nobody out. Now the pitch. He struck him out. For Nolan Ryan, his 4th strikeout. And it brings up the catcher, Danny Breeden. Randy Hundley was scheduled to rejoin the Cub Ball Club today. It will be probably another week before number 1 backstop Randy Hundley can return to the lineup. Danny Breeden is a 28-year-old rookie. He bounced around for 9 years in the Cincinnati organization. And last winter, the Cubs traded Willie Smith to Cincinnati for Danny Breeden. He is a right-hand batter. Now the pitch. High, pop fly into shallow right center. Out goes Boswell. In comes Don Hahn. Hahn makes the catch. Now there are 2 away. The runner Pepitone is still on second, and Pappas is coming up. Milt has 1 hit and 13 times at bat. Milt Pappas, 32 years of age, wears number 32. And a fastball outside, ball 1. And at the age of 32, Pappas already has 13 Major League seasons behind him. The 1-0 delivery. Well hit in the air. No, it's a bloop. Out goes Bud Harrelson. He's under it, and he has it. The ball fooled me coming off the bat. Turned out to be an easy play for Buddy Harrelson drifting into left field. So Ryan, yielding a leadoff double to Pepitone, gets the next 3 in order. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. At the end of an inning and a half, the Chicago Cubs nothing, the New York Mets nothing.
Hi, Mets fans. This is P.B. Reese with a DeVoe base hit, or how to make a hit around your home base. You do it with new DeVoe Acrylic 1 Coat, a real winner in the house painting game. It's the Go-On Easy paint available in all the colors of the 70s style Baselinese. Take it from Pee-wee. See your DeVoe dealer. He's the painting expert to match the right paint to the right job. so you can get professional results. Get going this spring and go DeVoe.
Hi, this is Dionne Warwick. Looking for some action?
I'll tell him, Dionne. All about the Walk for International Development. You know the world needs your help. Give it a hand. But first, give it a foot. Walk on May 8th and 9th in the International Walk for Development. Write WALK, 1717 H Street, Northwest, Washington, D.C.
That's where you'll find the really smart people.
Bob Aspromonte leading off in the bottom half of the second. Takes the pitch high, ball one. Bob hitting .238, and he has 8 RBIs. He's had some very timely hits that have helped out. Veteran right-hand batter. It's inside, ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. Jerry Grote is the on-deck batter, and then Don Hahn. Grote has moved up into the top 10 in batting in the National League. Swing and a miss at a curveball, 2-1. Ed Kranepool and Jerry Grote have both enjoyed a 4-hit performance this year. The 2-1 pitch. Well hit fly to left field, way back. It might go. It might, and it's gone. A home run. Bob Aspromonte stocking his first home run in a New York Mets uniform, and it puts New York in front 1-0. He pulled it, high fly that carried over the bullpen fence and landed in the visiting bullpen. The Mets lead 1-0, and the hitter is Jerry Grote. Here's the pitch on the way. Inside, ball 1. Bob Aspromonte was used very little in Atlanta last year. He did not hit a home run all last year, but he played very little. So his last Major League homer was in 1969. Pitch to Jerry Grote, low and outside. Jerry had 4 for 5 in the game last night, 2 singles and 2 doubles. And he raised his batting average to .348. Jerry Grote is now 7th in the National League in batting. The windup, here's the pitch on the way, fouled, hit hard down the left field line, no play. Rookie outfielder Ralph Garr of the Atlanta Braves continues to lead the National League in batting. He's been filling in for Rico Carty out with an injury. And what a start for Ralph Garr. Willie Mays of the Giants is 2nd in the league in batting. And Willie will be 40 years old on May 6th. High, inside, ball 3. Saw Willie's old teammate Monty Irvin at the ball game here this evening. Monty now works in the commissioner's office. 3-1 delivery. 2 high, ball 4. Grote draws the walk. This will bring up Don Hahn, the center fielder. Don will be playing center field until Tommy Agee is ready to return. Hahn, a right-hand batter. He has good size and good speed. So far this year, Don has 1 for 6. Inside and low, it's ball 1. Tommy Agee came out of the dugout in the 12th inning last night to get a base hit and break up the ball game. Next pitch by Pappas, inside. Hahn lays off, and the count goes to 2-0. And now Don Hahn checks with Eddie Yost to see if Gill wants him to take the next delivery. Two balls and no strikes on Don Hahn, batting 8th in the order. Nolan Ryan will be hitting next. Mel Pappas getting his sign. Here's the pitch on the way. And he bunts the ball, picked up a fair ball, thrown to second base, force play. And wait a minute, now they're saying it's a foul ball. Hahn was running it out. No, it's a double play. Apparently, Breeden tagged Hahn before he got out of the batter's box. Hahn
Hahn ran into the ball. That's it. We saw Breeden pick the ball up right in front of the plate. But what had happened was that Don Hahn, running up to bunt the ball, ran into the ball. So he is out. And Grudy stays on first base. Hahn ran into the bunt. He was running away from us. You couldn't see the ball hit him. We did see Breeden grab it out in front of the plate. But by the call, he had to run into the ball. So give the put-out to the catcher, Danny Breeden. One man away, a runner on first, and Nolan Ryan is up. Bunted by Nolan Ryan. A beautiful bunt. Banks grabs it and throws to first. In time. Close play. Beautiful job by Nolan Ryan of advancing the runner, Jerry Grote, into scoring position. And Nolan almost beat that out. At the last moment, Ernie Banks underhanded the ball over to Beckert, covering it first. Bud Harrelson will be hitting against Pappas with a runner, Grudy, on second and 2 men down. The Mets lead 1-0 on a home run by Bob Aspromonte, his first for the New York Mets. Aspromonte has certainly been accomplishing a great deal. He had played very little the last 2 years, and now to come back and play every day, and he's done it well. The pitch by Mel Pappas, taken outside by Bud Harrelson, ball 1. The breeze has freshened up a little bit. It had completely subsided at the start of the ball game. Now Grudy leading off second. The pitch by Pappas, low, outside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Ken Boswell is the on-deck batter. Danny Breeden provides the target. The pitch by Pappas is popped up foul outside third. Ron Santo moving over to the warning track by the tarp makes the catch. The side retired in the second. The Mets go in front on the home run by Bob Aspromonte. 1 run, 1 hit. No errors, 1 left on. At the end of 2 innings, the score is, Shea, the New York Mets 1, the Chicago Cubs 0.
Take your family out to eat tonight. It's a treat they won't forget. And be sure to bring your appetite. We're expecting you. Your table is set.
Say, have you gotten the rainbow habit yet? Well, lots of folks in this area have. The habit of calling on the Rainbow Restaurant in Johnstown for everything from a simple lunch to a beautiful wedding reception or other special party. That's just how versatile the Rainbow is. Order your favorite sandwich, a specially prepared full dinner, or plan an exquisite party for some special occasion, large or small, formal or casual. That's the Rainbow Restaurant. You know, they're famous for their fine food and service. You get the Rainbow habit today. You'll be so glad you did.
Give your family a treat. Take them out to eat.
And just so I don't forget the name of that restaurant, hey, feller, give me that name one more time.
Why, the Rainbow Restaurant in Johnstown.
Third inning at Shea Stadium. The Mets lead 1-0. The Cubs come up to hit, and coming up to tell you all about it, Ralph Kiner.
Thank you, Bob Murphy, and hi, everyone. The shortstop, Don Kessinger, will be the first batter for Nolan Ryan here in the third. He walked his first time up. And the first pitch is hit out to left field. Cleon Jones, moving toward the foul line, is under the ball, and he makes the catch. So Ryan picks up an out on 1 pitch, unusual for him, and now the batter coming up is Glenn Beckert. Beckert was struck out. He got caught looking at a curveball his first time up. Beckert was the 3rd toughest man in the National League to strike out last year. The 2 Alou brothers were just a shade tougher to strike out than he was. First pitch, a fastball inside, ball 1. Beckert batting .302 for the year. Mets leading 1-0 on a home run by Bob Aspromonte. Curve back, Beckert has to duck under it. It's ball 2. Pitch right over the top of his head. Nolan Ryan with a record of 2-0 this year, and the pitch back to Beckert is inside ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. Ryan has struck out 4. He has walked 2, both walks coming in the first inning. Ryan has a record of 1-0 against the Cubs. He picked up the victory in relief. The 3-0 pitch to Beckert. Ball 4, and Ryan has walked Beckert on 4 pitches, and that brings up Billy Williams. Say, Plymouth is happy again to be chosen as the Mets' official car. Billy Williams walked in the 3-2 pitch his first time up. Williams batting .311 for the year. He has 6 home runs, 11 runs batted in. Left-hand batter with great swing, and he takes inside and high. It's ball 1. So Ryan, after getting his first man, Don Kessinger, in 1 pitch, has not been in the strike zone since. And that 1-0, the pitch to Williams, fouled off. Fastball, foul back into the stands. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ryan, 24 years of age. He's 6'2", 195 pounds. Has a lifetime record in his major league career of 21 wins and 24 losses, of which 4 wins and 1 loss has been against the Chicago Cubs. Now at 1-1, the pitch to Williams, drilled to right field. Going over is Marshall, back to the warning track, and he makes the catch. Fine play by Dave Marshall in right field as he moves into the warning track in the corner to make the play. So 2 men away, Beckert back to first base, and it brings up Ron Santo. Santo was struck out on a 3-2 fastball his first time up. Batting at .289 with 4 home runs and 17 RBIs. His runs batted in leads the club. Right-hand batter. And Ryan from the set position over to first base, but Beckert back easily. Ryan has been working on his move to first base, and it appears to be a little bit better, a little quicker. Now he sets up again. And again to first base. Again, Beckert back easily. Beckert not with much of a lead. Cubs are not basically a running club. They rely on power. And the first pitch to Santo. Curveball. He ducks under it. Goes down to the ground. It's ball 1. Mets leading 1-0 with 2 men out. We're in the top of the 3rd. Home run by Bob Aspromonte. His first as a New York Met. Now the 1-0 pitch, and Santo pops it up on the first base side. Kranepool in foul territory is under it. And he makes the play, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors, a walk, a man left. And the score in the middle of the 3rd inning, the Mets won, the Cubs nothing.
Hello, this is Pete Wilson. Howell & Pearson has been taking a long, hard look at the economy. And we figure this is the year of the careful spender, the man who gets a little more for his money. When that kind of man is looking for a big car, he checks out Dodge Polara, one of the roomiest cars in America. Now Howell & Pearson has it priced to compete with Ford and Chevrolet. Or how about the low-price luxury of Dodge Monaco? Then there's the new thrifty version of the popular high-style Dodge Charger, or the sporty Challenger. Even the convenient 4-door car gets a special price break at Howell & Pearson. Take a look at Coronet, the car that was designed to be a 4-door sedan. Want still more economy? Take a look at the compact Dart, or the all-new Dodge Demon. That's the new size car that's priced way below the compact Field. So for 7 different ways to get the most for your money, take a look at 7 kinds of cars at Howell & Pearson. Thank you.
Against Mel Pappas. The Mets have 1 run on 2 hits, and Boswell hits the first pitch down to Banks as he moves to his right to make the play, and he throws over to Pappas covering at first base for the out. 1 pitch and 1 away. That'll bring up Dave Marshall, who walked his first time up. Dave brought a 5-game hitting streak into the ballgame. Marshall hitting at .371 for the year. And Milt Pappas with a record of 3-2, 1 win against the Mets. Looking in for the sign, here's the pitch. It is hit off the hands down to the second baseman. taken there by Glenn Beckert and one out to throw to first base in time. Ball was hit fairly well, although hit in on the hands just off the trademark. So 2 pitches and 2 away. And it brings up Cleon Jones. Cleon singled his first time up. Cleon has hit in 6 of his last 7 ball games, batting at .284 for the year. Cleon singled to right field off a 0-2 slider his first time up to move Marshall over to the third, but he was left there in the first inning. And the first pitch, a called strike. Cleon taking to make sure that Pappas didn't get out of the eddy on 3 pitches. Now the right-hander into the windup, and the pitch back is too low, ball 2. Pardon me, ball 1 and strike 1. Breeze blowing in from left field, light breeze. 1-1 pitch. Jones takes inside and high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Pappas, a very fast worker. Throws a good slider, a sinker, curveball. And there's a breaking pitch, grounded foul. So they count 2 balls and 2 strikes in the foul ball. He has a lifetime record against the Mets of 7 wins and 6 losses. Has a fine lifetime record in his major league career, which goes to the American League and the National League, of 171 wins, 133 losses. 2-2 pitch to Jones. Bounced over the mound, charging as Kessinger to field the ball right on the edge of the infield grass. His throw to first base retires the side in order. And the score. At the end of 3, the Mets won, the Chicago Cubs nothing.
SB Tours Furniture in Broad Albin invites you to see the newest, unique, and charming Spanish-style bedroom groupings from Johnson Carper. This fashion-fresh design of courtly Spanish elegance adapts easily to contemporary living. Lets you create a luxurious bedroom at modest price with a wide range of individual and correlating pieces. It has a warm and mellow antique finish on pecan veneers. Selected hardwoods and brass finish pulls on fully dovetailed drawers. Johnson Carper calls it Brocado. You'll call it magnificent when you see it at SB Tours in Broad Albin. Group it any way you want, starting with a full-size headboard at just $89.95. 6-drawer double dresser is $99.95. Nightstands, just $65 each. Roomy chest, a low $99.95. Complete your set with a frame tilting mirror, a large 28 by 44 inch size at only $29.95. See Brocado now at SB Tours of Broad Albin, where quality exceeds the price.
Batter struck out his first time up, batting at .250 for the year. On the mound for the Mets, Nolan Ryan, and his first pitch. Breaking ball over for a called strike. Ryan has struck out 4. He struck out all 3 of his outs in the first inning, picked up another strikeout in the second. He has given up 1 hit, a double by Joe Pepitone, who's the on-deck batter, and he has walked 3. Pitch back, a fastball inside. Callison jumps away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Callison has 11 runs batted in. And he takes inside again, moving away. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Johnny Callison, Joe Pepitone, and Ernie Banks, the first 3 for the Cubs here in the 4th inning. And Ryan with a 2-1 pitch to Callison. It is grounded foul. So the count evens out at 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is Ryan's second start of the year. He won his first start working 6 innings. His other victory, he has a record of 2-0, picked up in relief. 2 balls, 2 strikes. No one out. Top of the 4th inning. And the pitch. It is a fastball, but high, and the count 3-2 to Callison. On-deck batter, Joe Pepitone. Sign goes out, and Ryan back with a 3-2 delivery. And it's hit high in the air in foul territory. The ball drifting into the stands, out of play. So Ryan will have to do it all over again with the count of 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ryan's 24 years of age. 6'2", 195 pounds. And he goes into the windup, and once again the 3-2 pitch. It is high, ball 4, and Ryan has walked his 4th man, and the Cubs have the tying run at first base with no one out and Joe Pepitone coming up. And we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
You are listening to WNCR FM, coming away from Johnstown, New York.
Ralph Kiner along with Bob Murphy and Lindsey Nelson from Shea Stadium. Joe Pepitone, the batter. He doubled his first time up. And the first pitch, curveball low and inside a ball. Pepitone hit a fastball that was out over the plate in the left center field for his 2-base hit. He only hit so far off Ryan, but Ryan has walked 4. Pepitone's double was his 4th this year. He has a .325 average for the season. And the pitch. Breaking ball again. It's inside 2-0. Pepitone has 2 home runs and 10 runs batted in. 2 balls, no strikes. Callison at first base, a short lead. Now he edges up. Here's the pitch. Fastball, a half swing. It's off his bat for a foul ball. And it's ball 2 and strike 1. Pepitone tried to lay off that ball. Would have had ball 3, but it just nicked his bat. Went down in the dirt. Two balls, 1 strike. Ryan ready. And the pitch. Fastball high and inside, and Ryan at 3-1. St. Louis Cardinals got 2 runs in the top of the 6th. They lead Philadelphia now by a score of 5-2 after 5.5 innings. Jerry Royce pitching that game for the Cardinals. Chris Short started for the Phillies. Billy Champion relieved him in the 6th. 3-1 pitch is swung on and fouled back out of play, and the count goes to 3-2. Cardinals have had home runs in that game by Javier, his first of the year, and Cardinal, his second of the year. Only game underway other than this one in the National League. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ryan all the way out. The runner goes, and the pitch is swung on and missed. Grudy's throw to second base is not in time, and Callison has a stolen base. Throw was a little bit up the line, and Callison went in ahead of the tag. Harrelson took the throw, tried to reach back to get him, but he could not make the play. Callison's first stolen base of the year, and on the strikeout, Ryan gets his 5th, and it brings up Ernie Banks with a runner in scoring position. The Mets leading 1-0. Ernie Banks was struck out on a 3-2 fastball his first time up, and the first pitch to him is outside a ball. Ernie went after a fastball that was up in his eyes out of the strike zone to strike out his first time up. Batting .167 for the year, he has been up only 12 times. Next pitch is foul back. He counted 1 ball and 1 strike. In the American League, Kansas City beat Cleveland 2-0. Dow Canton was the winning pitcher. Hagen the loser. Yankees are playing in Minnesota. The starting pitcher, Steve Klein, for the Yankees, 3-1 against Jim Cott, 2-2. Now the steal try at third. The pitch high and inside. The throw down at third is not in time, and Callison has his second stolen base of the year, all in this inning. He got a big jump at second base and had it easily. Stealing the base off Ryan. Pitch was high and inside for ball 2, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. So Callison represents the time run at third with 1 man out. On a walk and 2 stolen bases. Mets pull their infield in. They're going to try and make a play at the plate on a ground ball to an infielder. Count 2 balls, 1 strike. Ryan takes a look at Callison, now goes into the windup, and the 2-1 pitch. It is high and inside, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. One thing about when Ryan pitches, you see a lot of action. A lot of pitches, a lot of walks, a lot of strikeouts. Action. 3-1 delivery. It is high and inside, and Banks walks. That is the fifth walk for the Cubs off Nolan Ryan. It puts runners at first and third, and it brings up the catcher, Danny Breeden. Danny flied out to center field his first time up. Breeden batting at 182. He's been up 11 times with 2 hits since his recall from the minor leagues. Mets dropped their infield back at double play depth. Breeden, the right-hand batter. Ryan working from the set position. And the first pitch. It is popped up to second. Boswell back in the outfield grass has an easy play, and he makes the catch. Callison bluffs it running toward home, and Boswell runs the ball into the infield to hold him at third. So, 2 men away, and it brings up the pitcher, Mel Pappas. Pappas popped up the shortstop his first time up. He has been up 14 times with 1 hit this year and 1 run batted in. He's capable of hitting the ball a long way. He has had many home runs in his pitching career. He's in double figures in home runs. And Ryan with the first pitch. High and inside, a ball. Fastball missing, ball 1. Starting pitchers, Oakland and Detroit. Raleigh Fingers against Joe Coleman. The end of 3 1/2, California won Baltimore 0. Tom Murphy against Jim Palmer. Jim Spencer home run in the first for the Angels, his 5th of the year. The 1-0 pitch by Ryan. It is high and inside again, ball 2. Washington at Milwaukee, the starting pitcher is Dick Bosman against Bill Parsons. Boston at Chicago, the starting pitcher is Mike Nagy against Tom Bradley. Bud Harrelson now talking with Ryan at the pitcher's mound. Cubs have the potential tying run on at third base and the go-ahead run on at first without a base hit. A walk to Johnny Callison. He then stole second base. After a strikeout to Joe Pepitone, he moved over to third when Ernie Banks was batting. And with Callison on third, as a result of the walk and 2 stolen bases, Ernie Banks walked, but runners at first and third. Danny Breeden popped up the second on the first pitch. Now the count, 2 balls and no strikes on Mel Pappas. And Ryan's next delivery. It is inside, ball 3. 3-0. On deck batter, Don Kessinger, the leadoff batter. And Ryan ready, and the 3-0 pitch. It is outside, ball 4, and Pappas gets a walk, and that's walk number 6 in the ball game, the 3rd in this inning, and the bases are loaded. Don Kessinger, the batter, he picked up the first walk of the ball game as the leadoff batter. His next time up, he flied out to left field on the first pitch. Kessinger batting .211. So Ryan now has used up all the walks that he can use in this inning. And he'll be starting against Kessinger. With the Mets in front, 1-0. Kessinger, a switch hitter, batting left-handed. And Ryan's first pitch. High, ball 1. Ryan missing with a fastball high and outside. The count, 1 ball, no strikes. Now the windup and 1-0 delivery. It's taken for a called strike. Kessinger taking all the way, hoping to work out a walk, but Ryan came back and picked up a strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Ryan off the pitching mound down in front on the grass, rubbing up the ball. Something he does quite often. Now he gets back on top. Gets on the pitching rubber, looks in, checks out the signs from Jerry Grote. Runners all the way around. And now Ryan into the windup, and the 1-1 pitch to Kessinger. Rounded out toward second base, fielded by Boswell. The throw to first base is in time, and the side is out. Boswell took that ball deep in the hole at second, actually on the outfield grass, and then his throw to Kranepool was in time by about 1.5 steps, and Ryan is out of the jam created by his 3 walks. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 3 men left on. And the score. In the middle of the 4th inning, the Mets won, the Chicago Cubs, 0.
Everyone at the North Perry Dairy Bar is glad to be a part in bringing you another season of Mets baseball. They'd like to help you enjoy your game listening more with ice cream sundaes, sodas, or milkshakes. And if you're looking for a thirst quencher, they have your favorite brand of beer, soda, and fresh milk. If you're working all day, just call 762-7621 and place your order for a treat. Then just pick it up at the North Perry Dairy Bar on the corner of North Perry and Water Streets in Johnstown.
This is Jack Klugman. If you haven't decided what to do with your life, how about saving somebody else's? I mean, how about a career in health? Rewarding, fascinating, and good paying. Careers you probably never even heard about. For free information about opportunities and training, write Health Careers, Box 200, Albany, New York, 12201. Health Careers. They're relevant.
To the bottom of the fourth inning, the Mets leading, and their first batter will be Eddie Kranepool. Mel Pappas on the mound for the Cubs. And the first pitch to Kranepool by the right-hander. Check swing ground ball back to the mound. Pappas fields the ball, tosses over to first base, and Kranepool is out for the second time in the ball game. That'll bring up Bob Aspromonte, who has accounted for the only run of the ball game, his home run in the second, giving the Mets a 1-0 lead. It was Aspro's first home run as a New York Met, and his first home run since 1969. Right-hand batter in the first pitch by Pappas. A fastball in, a called strike. Aspromonte hit a slider over the left field fence for the home run. Astro batting .247 for the year. Pappas back, and a breaking ball is swung on and missed it. Strike two. Only 3 base hits in the ball game. The Mets have 2. The Cubs 1. The Cubs have had all the base runners. Base hit and 6 walks. The next pitch is popped up out the shallow center. Going back is Glenn Beckert, and he turns and makes the catch. An easy play, 2 men away. That'll bring up Jerry Grote. Jerry walked his first time up, and he has been red hot. He has hit in 8 of his last 9 ball games. Was 4 for 5 last night. And his batting average now very sparkling, .348. Grote being played straight away. And Pappas with his first delivery. It is in for a called strike. According to the Cub followers, Grote has always hit the Cub pitching hard. One strike count. Pappas back again, and the pitch is over the inside corner. Strike 2 called. And Pappas quickly getting his pitches in. In the third inning, he used only 7 pitches to get the Mets out in order. He got Kranepool on 1 pitch to start off this inning, then got Aspromonte, and now working on Grote with a 2-strike count. Next pitch is looped over to the shortstop, and he makes a play as he moves slowly into the outfield grass, and the side is retired in order. A 1-2-3 inning for Milt Pappas, and the score. At the end of 4, the Mets won, the Chicago Cubs nothing. And now once more for the play-by-play, Bob Murphy, after this word from your local Coca-Cola bottler. It's a real thing, Coke.
It's a real thing in the back of your mind. What you hope is to find. It's a real.
Triple invites you to talk to him about the swimming pool that has the best of everything. Famous heritage pools, beautifully styled, easily installed and priced for your family. Just imagine the endless hours of healthful, carefree fun you all enjoy. Start by calling Bob Schruppel at 762-3525 between 12 and 1 or anytime after 4 p.m. Let him help you treat yourself to a delightful new world of pleasure to be shared by young and old alike. The number again, 762-3525 to put yourself in the swim of things.
Now we go to the 5th inning. The Mets leading 1-0. The Chicago Cubs second baseman, Glenn Beckert, will be up against Nolan Ryan. Beckert called out on strikes in the first inning, reached on a walk in the third inning. Each inning has been a struggle for Nolan because of the walks he has been giving up. The windup by Ryan and the pitch. Low and outside, it's ball 1. Over the first 4 innings, Ryan has walked 6 men and struck out 5. Allowed no runs, only 1 hit. High, inside, ball 2. The only hit off Ryan, a very long, well-hit double by Joe Pepitone. So Nolan Ryan behind on the count, 2-0. And the pitch on the way. Fastball in, a call strike, it's 2-1. He'll be working very hard trying to get Beckert out with Billy Williams waiting on deck. Pitching 2-1. Ground ball to second base. Boswell in front of it. Scoops it up, throws on to first, 1 down.
Left fielder Billy Williams drew a walk his first time up. He hit a long drive to the warning track in right that was run down by Dave Marshall in the 3rd inning. Billy Williams hitting at 308. Billy starting his 11th year with the Chicago Cubs. He got off to a great start in the major leagues. His rookie season, he was rookie of the year in the National League. And last year, his 10th year, was his best ever. Ryan delivers inside and low. It's ball 1. Billy Williams finally missed a ball game in September of last year, bringing to an end the 3rd longest consecutive game string in baseball history. He played 11-17 before he finally missed one. The 1-0 pitch to Billy Williams, a letter-high strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 delivery, way high inside. That goes all the way to the backstop. That shook up umpire Bob Engel. He almost got hit by it. 2 balls and 1 strike. Ryan takes a walk off the mound. In his other start this year on the road trip in St. Louis, Ryan worked 6 scoreless innings. But he walked 8 men. He had thrown so many pitches by then that Danny Frisella finished out. High, ball 3, 3-1. Ryan and Frisella combined for the shutout. And the 3-1 pitch. Ground ball, pull foul down the right field line. It's 3-2 to Billy Williams. We have a night game tomorrow night, the 3rd game of this series, then an afternoon game on Thursday. From here, the Chicago Cubs will go on to Montreal. Cubs are on a 9-game road trip. The Mets are enjoying a 10-game homestand. One postponement tonight. Houston at Montreal, postpone rain. The Cardinals lead the Phillies 6-2 in the 7th inning in Philadelphia. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Ryan strikes out Billy Williams. He was behind him 3-1 and came back to get him. For Nolan Ryan, his 6th strikeout. 2 outs and nobody on. It brings up Ron Santo. All of the West Coast teams are opening homestands now. The Pirates are playing in San Francisco. The Cincinnati Reds in Los Angeles. The Atlanta Braves are in San Diego. Those games will be starting later. Foul going out of play behind the Mets dugout and far back up into the crowd. Ball landing and bouncing around in the load section. Yankees open their road trip tonight in Minnesota. They're pitching Steve Klein against Jim Cott. The Yankees out in the 1st without scoring. Now Santo waiting. Takes high, 1 ball and 1 strike. They played a twilight game in Cleveland this evening, a single game that started at 5:30. The Kansas City Royals defeated Cleveland 2-0. Ex-Pirate Bruce Dal Canton pitched the shutout. Breaking ball inside. It had Santo bailing out. It's 2-1. Steve Hargan was the loser. Reggie Jackson homered for the Oakland A's in the 1st inning at Detroit. For Jackson, home run number 5. The pitchers are Rowley Fingers and Joe Coleman. Baltimore leading California 3-1 after 4.5. And a long drive to deep right center, way back toward the warning track, bouncing off the wall, an extra base hit. Santo is on his way to second. He's in with a double. The Cubs have their 2nd hit off Nolan Ryan. Both have been doubles. The first by Pepitone and the 2nd leading off.
And now with 2 men away by Ron Santo in the 5th inning. The pitchers in the game in Baltimore, Tom Murphy for California and Jim Palmer, 4-0 for Baltimore. Washington at Milwaukee. Dick Bosman against Bill Parsons. Washington did not score in the first. The Red Sox are in Chicago pitching Mike Nagy against Tom Bradley. Johnny Callison has struck out and reached on a walk. Veteran left-hand hitter. Swing and a foul ball. He went after a curve that was in on him. It skidded off the handle of the bat. The count is strike one. After Johnny Callison drew a walk in the 4th inning, he stole second and stole third. But he was left stranded as Kessinger bounced out to retire the side. Ryan looking in. Santo leading off second base. No throw made. Ryan whirls as Harrelson dashed for the bag, but no throw was made. Ryan has the big motion and must work extra hard to try and keep the runners close. Nolan Ryan getting a sign from Grudy. Here's the pitch on the way to Callison, inside and low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Both of the Chicago hits have been to the opposite field. It's hard to get around on that fastball of Nolan Ryan's. They were both well hit, but they were hit to the opposite field. He held up on the swing, and it was just inside 2-1. And Ryan thought that should have been called a strike. Pepitone, a left-hand hitter, hit one deep to left center for a 2-base hit. And Santo, a right-hand batter, hit one to right center. Santo's drive was hit so well it hit the wall on the fly at 396. So each team has 2 hits. The Mets lead 1-0. Ryan delivers. Hit hard. It may go foul down the line. Fair ball. A base hit. This will tie it up. Santo around third comes home. Callison goes into second with a double. Johnny Callison ties it up with a run-scoring double. He hit a curveball, timed his swing beautifully, and hit a line drive down the right field line. For Johnny Callison, his 12th run batted in. In his 2 starting assignments this year, Nolan Ryan had gone 10 2/3 innings before yielding a run. Joe Pepitone, 1 for 2, a long double to left center. In comes the pitch by Ryan. It jams the hitter. It's inside. 1 ball and no strikes. The Cubs have manufactured a run after 2 men were away to tie the ball game. The 1-0 delivery, way inside. 2-0 on Joe Pepitone. Pepitone is hitting .321. Nolan Ryan tying a shoelace. Ryan retired Beckert and Billy Williams, the first 2 men up. But Ron Santo lashed a long double to right center, and Callison hit a line drive double down the right field line. Now they're going to walk Pepitone. Falling behind Pepitone 2-0. Not wanting to give him one too good to hit. The Mets will give him the intentional walk and take their chances with Ernie Banks. This then will be the 7th walk given up by Ryan. Nolan has walked 7, struck out 6, allowed 1 run, 3 hits. Ernie Banks has struck out and drawn a walk, nothing for 1. Ernie has 2 for 12 this year. Fouled, back over the screen, strike 1. Ryan getting a new ball to work with. Takes time now to slip his hand out of the glove and work up the new ball. Pitch to Ernie Banks. Over for a strike. A throw to first, not in time. The pickoff play was on. Kranepool was not holding against the runner, but he cut to the bag, and Grudy fired it, but not in time. Ryan with a 2-strike advantage to Ernie Banks. The on-deck batter for Chicago, the catcher, Danny Breeden. He's a right-hand batter. This is game 5 of the year between the Mets and the Cubs. Each team has taken 2. Callison leading off second, Pepitone off first. Outside and low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The game is in inning number 5. Ryan has already thrown a very large number of pitches. The infield and the outfield straight away against Ernie Banks. And the pitch on the way. He struck him out swinging. And Ryan threw the breaking ball. For Nolan Ryan, his 7th strikeout. 1 run, there were 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on. In 5 innings, the Cubs have had 9 left on. So we have come halfway at the end of 4.5 innings. The Chicago Cubs won, the New York Mets won. Plymouth is the official fan of the Mets.
What a wonderful way to look, like a big summer fashion book. She's my cup of tea, and it's easy to see she enjoys being a girl.
This is RJ for Juniorama. One of the nicest ways to do your summer shopping is a trip to Juniorama of Johnstown. At Juniorama, you're a privileged customer with many advantages at your fingertips. First of all, Juniorama offers you the utmost in top fashions. Secondly, you're never disappointed in your selections, for Juniorama carries a full range of styles and sizes. And, of course, a friendly staff takes time for that extra service every shopper longs for. You shop the store that values every customer. Juniorama of Johnstown. They're open Friday and Monday till 9. They're open all day Saturday.
She walks by, she's so lovely that I think she's wonderful. What a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful way to look. What a wonderful way to look, like a page from a fashion book.
We have a tie game, 1-1, last of the 5th inning for New York. Don Hahn faces the Cub right-hander, Mel Pappas. Hahn tried to sacrifice his last time up, ran into the bunt. And the pitch is taken low, ball 1. So he was automatically out with the put-out going to the catcher. Pitch to Hahn, a breaking ball low. 2 balls and no strikes. Pappas has been pitching very well for Chicago. This veteran right-hander started a new career after being obtained by the Cubs in late June last season. The 2-0 delivery. Get in the air to right field, and is fairly deep. Moving back is Callison on the warning track. He makes the catch. Hahn put Callison on the warning track in right center. Right here, we'll pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
You are listening to WYZR-FM, coming away from Johnstown, New York.
Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner. Last of the 5th inning is Jay. The Mets won, the Cubs won. Nolan Ryan up for the 2nd time. Ryan sacrificed his first time at bat. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Fouled off the bat, coming straight back, and the count is strike 2. Mel Pappas siding in on Danny Breeden's target. Pitch low, outside, 1-2. Yogi Berra coaching on first. And Eddie Yost is coaching at third. Get off the end of the bat, a slow grounder to second base. Glenn Beckert scoops it up, shovels it on to Ernie Banks, 2 down. Mel Pappas has now retired the last 11 batters to face him. After Aspromonte hit a home run in the 2nd, putting New York out in front 1-0. He walked the next batter, Jerry Grote, and since then has cut down 11 straight. Bud Harrelson is 0 for 2, but has bounced out and fouled out to Ron Santo. Ball one. In 48 innings this year, Pappas has given up only 38 hits, and he came into this game with a 2.4 ERA. Letter high strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Now the pitch on the way. Bounced off the mask of the plate umpire, Bob Engel. Fergie Jenkins is the top winner among the Cub pitchers. Ferguson is 4-2. Pappas 3-2, and Bill Hans 3-3. The 1-2 pitch, Harrelson lets it go. It's outside, 2-2. 2 outs and nobody on, last of the 5th inning. Hit late and foul, going behind the visiting dugout and back up into the crowd. Remember, we have a day game on Thursday. It's the final game of this 4-game series. And Joe Torre, Lou Brock, Bob Gibson and company are here Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday afternoons. Ground ball over the mound. It might go through the middle and does. A base hit to center field. Bud Harrelson bouncing one over the head of Pappas, over second and into center field. Bud now is hit safely in 15 of his last 16 games. And that breaks the spell for Pappas. He had retired 11 in a row. Each team has 3 hits. Ken Boswell has flied to left and bounced out to first, nothing for 2. Base hits have not been dropping so far this year for Ken Boswell. And a throw to first, not in time. Bud Harrelson has stolen 10 bases. 10 of 10. And so Pappas is going to keep a very close eye on him. And a throw to first. Harrelson sliding back head first. Cubs are convinced that in this spot, Harrelson will be trying to steal. And a throw to first. He just got back. Pappas working hard trying to pick off Bud Harrelson. Time taken while Buddy Harrelson shakes some of the dirt off of his uniform. He has hit the dirt 3 times in a row. Now Bud again starts building his lead at first. And Pappas steps off. Now he throws to first and Harrelson gets back. Well, Pappas is working and working on Bud Harrelson. Pitchers feel they can have their patience. If they stick with it long enough in a situation like this, they can pick you off. Crowd yelling, go, go, go to Bud Harrelson. He's running the pitch, a pitch out. The throw to second, the slide, he's out. And Harrelson is out for the first time this year. And it was hard work by the Cubs, and it paid off. And when Harrelson finally did run, the Cubs pitched out. And they nailed Harrelson dead to rights. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and none left on. At the end of 5 innings, the Chicago Cubs won, the New York Mets won.
Like a prince, you look like a duke, you have that royal feeling. You can rest assured, you're dressed assured, your clothes are fit for a king.
This is R.J. for the Sir William Squire Shop. What's the traditional look in men's suits? Not traditional past, at least not with a Bardstown suit from Sir William Squire Shop here in Johnstown. Bardstown men's suits by merit are traditional present. There's a difference, you know. Take Bardstown wide, deeply notched lapels. That's present. Or deeper center vents. That's present. Body contoured styling. And that's present. And that's Bardstown, the traditional look that never grows old. See for yourself at Sir William Squire Shop. on West Main Street in Johnstown. We'll be so glad you did.
Nolan Ryan throws in his warm-ups. We're set now for the 6th inning at Shea Stadium. The Mets won and the Cubs won. Three of the last 4 games played by the Mets have been extra inning ball games, with New York winning all 3. And here we are this evening, tied 1-1 in the 6th inning. Danny Breeden, right-handed batting catcher, looks at a curve thrown by Nolan Ryan, and it's over, strike 1. Jerry Grote setting up that low target. And a half swing. It's out of the strike zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. He checked it in time. The baseball quiz is up on the message board for the entertainment of the fans gathered here at Shea. The question is, can you identify the man who has played the most games at first base in World Series history? And a ground ball hit down to third. Aspromonte up with it. And a good throw across the Kranepool, 1 down. With 1 out and nobody on, Mel Pappas takes his 3rd turn at bat. Pappas has popped to short and reached on a walk. If you want your car to run cleaner, switch to Chevron gasoline with F310. It turns dirty exhaust into extra mileage. A windup by Ryan, pitched to Pappas, a breaking ball in the dirt that Pappas swung at. And the count is strike 1. A curveball hit out in front of home plate in the dirt. Pappas led the Cub pitchers in hitting last year with a .240 batting average, including 2 home runs. On the inside corner, strike 2. Ryan has been just wild enough to keep the hitters very loose at the plate. Now Ryan over the head, down comes the arm. And a swing and a miss, or did he hold up on the swing? Bob Engel looking for help from the first base umpire, and they rule that he held up in time. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Leadoff hitter Don Kessinger is the on-deck batter. Pitching 1 and 2. And a broken bat bloop to short, taken on a hop by Harrelson. Thrown to Kranepool, Pappas is out. And the barrel of the bat, the big end of the bat, wound up almost on the edge of the infield grass in front of Buddy Harrelson. So Harrelson was watching the bat and the ball come at him at the same time. Two outs and the base is empty. The leadoff batter for the Cubs, Don Kessinger, has reached on a walk. Skied to left field, bounced out to second, nothing for 2. Kessinger hitting at 208. Don Kessinger, like Buddy Harrelson, made himself into a switch hitter. And by doing so, made himself a much more valuable ball player. Nolan Ryan fires to Kessinger and misses the outside corner. 1 ball, no strikes. Cubs came to town having won 5 of their last 7. And a grounder hit down to first base. Ed Kranepool scoops it up, waves Ryan off, and takes it unassisted. And there's Nolan Ryan's best inning of the ballgame. The first time the Cubs have gone out in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left. At the end of 5 1/2, the Chicago Cubs won, the New York Mets won.
This is Pee Wee Reese, fans. When you want a winner in house paint, get the Big League brand. Go DeVoe. DeVoe has a lineup of colors for the 70s style Barcelonese that just can't be beat. Whatever kind of paints you need, interior or exterior, you're safe at home when you go DeVoe. Remember now, for the answer to all your painting needs, see your DeVoe paint dealer. He'll show you the DeVoe finish that's right for you. And tell him Pee Wee sent you.
For the American Legion, here's Bing Crosby.
There are many names for the American flag. Old Glory, the Stars and Stripes, but by whatever name you call it, our flag is a symbol of union, of liberty, of national security. This year, in thousands of hometowns through the United States, our flag will be proudly placed by local posts of the American Legion. Why don't you join in the spirit? Make this a banner year, a star-spangled banner year for you and for the Legion.
Kenny Boswell up against Mel Pappas in the bottom half of the sixth inning. It's ball one. Here's your answer to the baseball quiz. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. The man who played the most games at first base in the history of the World Series competition is now sitting quietly, arms folded in the Mets dugout, wearing number 14, his name, Gil Hodges. 38 games in the World Series. Two-0 pitch. Outside, ball 3. Pappas goes behind 3-0. Mel does not walk many. In this game, Pappas has walked 2. The 3-0 delivery. Ball 4, and Boswell opens with a walk. Third walk by Pappas. Dave Marshall coming up. Paid crowd tonight is 17,963 and a total crowd of 18,487. Dave Marshall has drawn a walk, bounced out. And the pitch is under the knees, ball 1. Each team has 1 run on 3 hits. Marshall hoping to come up with a base hit and move Boswell around. And the pitch on the way. Line drive hit hard to right, a base hit. Callison grabs the ball on a hop. Boswell will stop at second. That was a hard line drive that Callison got on the first hop. So Boswell had no chance to go to third. Fourth hit for the New York Mets. Cleon Jones to batter. Cleon 1 for 2, single to right field in the first inning. Cleon batting .281. We are now getting warm-up action for Chicago. Right-hander Phil Regan and a rookie left-hander Earl Stevenson. Ed Kranepool loosening up in the on-deck circle. Now let's see how the Mets play it. Pappas looking back at the runner, Boswell at second base. Kessinger, the shortstop, lined up directly behind Boswell to keep him close. Cubs have to anticipate the Mets might bunt, although probably not. You never know. Swing on a miss, strike 1. Not too often does a manager ask his cleanup batter to bunt. Logic behind it, of course, if he's good enough to hit cleanup, he's good enough to swing away. Next pitch by Pappas, and a looping drive to right. Callison is in front of it and makes the catch. And the runners hold at first and second. Boswell was not tagging up with nobody out. Jones hits the ball fairly hard to Callison in right. Ed Kranepool comes up. Eddie has bounced out to second and tapped back to the mound. Nothing for 2. Kranepool batting .326. Kenny Boswell leading off second. Dave Marshall off first. The game tied 1-1, last of the 6th inning. Kranepool using that squared off batting stance. Now cocks the bat. The pitch by Pappas. High, outside. 1 ball and no strikes. These two teams came into this series with both playing very well. Mets have now taken 7 of their last 8. Cubs came in town 5 of 7. Ground ball to shortstop might be a double play. Kessinger shovels to Beckert on to first, not in time. Kranepool got there just in the nick of time to avoid the double play. Marshall is forced at second. Bob Aspromonte will face Pappas. Aspromonte hit a home run in the second inning. His first New York Mets home run. And his first home run since 1969. Bob played very little for the Atlanta Braves last season. Second time up in the 4th inning, he popped up. Here's the pitch on the way. Way outside. A good play by the catcher, Danny Breeden. He lunged for it. That was almost a wild pitch that would have brought a run home. Squibbler foul off the end of the bat. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and one to Bob Aspromonte. The infield straightaway and the outfield is straightaway. At a swing and a miss at a slider, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pappas trying to work out of trouble here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Boswell on third, Kranepool on first. And a drive hit in the air to left field. Billy Williams is under it, and he has it. The side is out. That stayed up and became an easy play for Billy Williams. Mets threatened, but failed to score in the 6th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on. At the end of 6 innings at Shea, the Chicago Cubs won, the New York Mets won.
Your dollar will buy a whole lot more when you shop the Walgreen way. You'll find bargains by the score, savings every day when you shop the Walgreen way.
Trying to reduce the cost of buying health care and domestic products without straining your budget can be a losing proposition. It's sort of like removing your finger from a bowl of water and seeing that you've made no impression at all. If you've had it with high prices, you'll flip over Ahern's Pharmacy's prices. Ahern's, the affordable pharmacies on West Main in Johnstown and the Gloversville Arterial Plaza. Ahern's offers savings in the 3rd dimension. Molded to fit today's tight expense planning. A good way to save.
Variety. By all means at Walgreens.
You have a...
With the score tied 1-1, the Chicago Cubs are coming up in the top of the 7th inning, and it's Glenn Beckert to lead off. He has been called out on strikes, walked, and grounded out second to first. Right-hand batter facing Nolan Ryan, who has struck out 7 and walked 7. Ryan's pitch, breaking ball, swung on and missed for strike 1. The Chicago Cubs keep their bullpen warm. Bill Regan, Earl Stevenson. Ryan's motion and the pitch. Curveball, and it's laced into center. On is over, and he makes the catch one-handed. A line drive into the left field part of center. Beckert out, and that'll bring up Billy Williams. He has walked line to left and struck out swinging. The Cubs 1 run, 3 hits. The Mets 1 run, 4 hits. Now the Mets get left-hander Ray Sadecki working in their bullpen. Left-hander Ray Sadecki up and throwing for the Mets. Ryan's pitch is swung on and missed at strike 1. Led off with the fastball. Ron Santo is on deck for Chicago. Here's the strike one pitch. Fastball inside. It's 1-1. Ryan takes the sign and offers 1-1. Breaking pitch. Swung out and missed. It's 1-2. Ryan walks off the mound back to the infield grass now. There's nothing hurried about Nolan Ryan's style of pitching. He's 24 years of age from Alvin, Texas. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Fastball is popped up high into the air, down the line, and first baseman Ed Kranepool goes back and makes the catch near the right field line. 2 away, Ron Santos, the batter, struck out, fouled out, and doubled. He later scored in the top of the 5th to tie the score at that point, and it's still tied. Here's Ryan's pitch. Breaking ball down low for ball 1. The Cubs are batting in the top of the 7th inning. These two teams played 11 innings here last night. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Swung on, popped up, down to a third. Aslamani over near the line, crosses the line into foul territory, and Aspromonte grabs the towering foul pop to retire the side. Nothing across in the 7th. And in the middle of the 7th inning, the score is still tied. The Mets won, and the Chicago Cubs won.
Are you anxious to gamble with your family's future? Are you willing to put your home up for grabs and to sign away part of your salary for a number of years? If so, there's no better way of risking just that than by false economy in buying skimpy automobile insurance with limits insufficient to protect you. If you want a good steer on car insurance, call Fields & Baxter Agency Incorporated at 762-4647. They'll show you how, for a very small amount of money, you can adjust your insurance to cover you so that if you should be caught short after an accident, your entire economic future won't be mortgaged until you've satisfied a judgment. If you want to be sure, just call Fields & Baxter Insurance Agency Incorporated at 762-4647. Or stop at their conveniently located office at 14 North Market Street in Johnstown. They'll be glad to show you how little this extra protection costs and explain to you how it works to protect you and your family.
That brings up Don Hahn, batting number 8 in the order and playing in tonight's game in place of the injured Tommy Agee. Hahn attempted to bunt in the 2nd inning, ran into the ball and was automatically out, and he flied to right in the 5th. Right-hand batter. He's followed in the batting order by Nolan Ryan. Score tied, 1-1, bottom of the 7th. Ryan comes out of the dugout now, wearing the jacket, moving up on deck. Ernie Banks at first is holding against Jerry Grote. Pappas sets up off the stretch, and time is called. No pitch. He delivered it, but Hahn had stepped back out of the batter's box, a little tired of waiting. So although Pappas brought the pitch on through, it is no pitch. Bill Regan, the right-hander, and Earl Stevenson, the left-hander, up and throwing again now in the Chicago Cub bullpen. That pitch is a little low to Don Hahn. It's 1-0. The Mets 1 run, 5 hits. The Chicago Cubs 1 run, 3 hits. Now again, Hahn's a little tired of waiting and a little confused by the sign, so he wants to go down and talk to Eddie Yost. Hahn goes down, a little direct communication between Hahn and the third base coach. He's straightened out now. Count is 1-0. The Mets threatened in the 6th inning when they had runners at first and second with nobody out, but failed to score. Now he squares, butts the ball foul up the first baseline, out of play. Or rather, he was hit by it. And it starts down to first, and now the plate umpire, Bob Engel, calls him back. Here comes Leo DeRocher. Here comes Still Hodges. And here comes Yogi Berra saying it hit him on the elbow. Well, the fine point now to be determined is, did it hit him first? If the ball hits the bat first and then hits him, he is not a hit batsman. Now plate umpire Bob Engel wants an opinion from Stan Landis, the second base umpire, who appears not to have any. Plate umpire Engel has walked all the way out near second now to talk to Landis, who has his hands thrust deeply in his pocket and seems to be saying, huh? The point to be determined is, did the ball hit the bat first? Did it hit Hahn first? DeRocher's on the field, so is Hodges. Hahn was trying to bunt. Now, Engel seems to be telling Hodges that the ball hit the bat first. DeRocher is retiring toward the Cub dugout, and Hodges continues to argue the point. The crew chief is Tony Vincent. The umpire at first, who is standing there, apparently he had no opinion on whether or not it hit Hahn first. So the argument continues. Hahn thought that he was a hit batsman. And as soon as he straightened himself up, the ball went up the first baseline. And as soon as he straightened up, Hahn started for first. And that's when everybody poured out. So Hodges now is directing his attention to Tony Vincent. We have just looked at a videotape replay, which really doesn't determine, because the body of Hahn is between the camera and the pitch at that point. Hodges, of course, wants this base runner. He wants to move Jerry Grote to second. The score is tied 1-1. The Mets are batting in the bottom of the 7th inning. Now the Met manager continues the argument, and rather vehemently, with Vincent. He's pointing out toward Landis now. That would be over the fact that Vincent didn't seem to have any opinion. And when Engel went out to ask Landis, he didn't seem to have one initially either. But then when the conference had ended, Engel came back to tell Hodges that they had determined that the ball had hit the bat before it hit Hahn. So now Hodges turns and argues with Bob Engel once again. They are just inside the first baseline. Yogi Berra standing off about 10 or 12 feet. Hahn is still there. Meanwhile, Mel Pappas is just tossing pitches in to catch a Danny Breeden. I just watch that base running in the worst sort of way. Meanwhile, down at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, the Cardinals have defeated the Phillies by a final score of 7-3. Jerry Royce is the winner. Chris Short's the loser. Julian Javier and Jose Cardinal had Cardinal home runs. Hodges continues to argue. Houston at Montreal postponed because of rain. So as the argument continues, we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
You are listening to WYZR FM, coming your way from Johnstown, New York.
The time, sir.
And just as we broke the station, first base was awarded to Hahn, and now Mel Pappas is trying to get to the umpire. He's being restrained by field captain Ron Santo, and DeRocher is out arguing with Engel. Hodges eventually won the argument. And first base was awarded to Hahn, and the minute that happened, the Cubs poured out. Pappas tried to get at the umpire. He was restrained by Santo, and now Pappas is arguing with Mel Steiner, the third base umpire. DeRocher is arguing it with Bob Engel. Poor boy. The moment that Hahn was awarded first base, the Cubs really poured down. Pappas had been warming up loosely, and he charged down off the mound. DeRocher now argues with Vincent. He argues with Engel, he is pantomiming the chop stroke on the butt of Hahn. Santo is leading Pappas back out toward the mound. Pappas pops the ball into his glove a time or two. Holds his palm outward to Stan Landis now, as if to say, what's going on here? DeRocher, meanwhile, is arguing with Bob Engel, who is the plate umpire. After a very lengthy argument, Engel directed that Hahn take first base. Hodges, of course, left the field at that point. He's in the dugout. So the argument continues. The Cubbies and the umpires now. Hodges is now seated ever so calmly in the Met dugout. Tony Vincent pantomiming to Ron Santo the manner in which Hahn squared around the bunt. Now Pappas is again into the argument. Vehemently into the argument. He's pantomiming. He's around to Vincent. It's one of the better rhubarbs of the young season. At a videotape replay backwards and forwards. The argument continues. Down in the stands, the fellow has a huge sign that says, "Rub-a-dub-dub, same old Cub." The cluster has tightened up a little bit now, as the debate is now between umpires. The umpires seem to be conducting their own seminar now. Landis and Vincent. So now the Cubs appear to be happy. Perhaps they've won this round. DeRocher arguing with Engel. So the Mets won a round. And Vincent points toward the Met dugout. And here comes Hodges again. The Cubs appear to have won that argument, so Hodges is coming back now for an explanation of this. It's the Cubs who are tranquil now. Landis is walking across to join in this one. In the argument, the rounds are even so far. The Mets won a round and the Cubs won a round. Landis now is talking to Hodges. And it's the Cub dugout that is tranquil. Hahn has been called back toward the plate. He is down arguing with plate umpire Bob Engel. Don Hahn. This is the most that Don Hahn has talked since joining the New York Mets. He's one of the silent men of the baseball ranks. But he's in conversation with Engel. Hodges is back on the field talking to Landis and to Vincent. In case you joined us during this rhubarb, the score is tied 1-1. The Mets are batting in the bottom of the seventh inning. Jerry Grote led off with a base hit. Don Hahn tried to sacrifice him, and then the rhubarb broke out. Now, Hodges calls Bob Engel back up to the conference with Vincent and with Landis. Steiner is coming over, so Hodges is going to have all four umpires there. Hahn is back up. The official scorer says he is now looking into his reference books to see who has final authority among the umpires. Is it the captain, the senior umpire, meaning Vincent? Is it the umpire-in-chief, so designated because he calls balls and strikes? Because at one point, it was apparent that the umpires were themselves in disagreement. Now, Hodges has all four of them, and it's Vincent who is raising his finger, and he is attempting to lay out the explanation. foul stands there. Hodges is not going to go quietly, as he is standing firmly, and now it's sort of chin to chin with Hodges and Vincent. Hodges now is getting a little heated. He is gesticulating now to Vincent and to Landis. This is a case where we have seen decisions changed. You have heard it said in baseball ranks that umpires do not change decisions. They've changed a few here in this rhubarb. Hodges now about ready to turn and go back to the dugout as the umpires start talking among themselves again. Now again it is 3 umpires who are discussing it, and no managers and no players. It's the umpires who are enjoying each other here. The 4 umpires are Bob Engel, Tony Vincent, Stan Landis, and Mel Steiner. So they are 4 together now. Hodges standing off at one side. He gets in a last remark. Hahn is standing off at one side. The umpires now break up. Bob Engel comes over to have another word with Hodges. Now, Engel is walking over toward the Met dugout. It could be that Hodges is playing the game under protest. If he is, Engel has to get on the phone and so notify the press box. And Engel may very well be doing that. It has to be announced that the game is being played under protest, and that's my guess. Engel has walked over toward the phone, and my guess is that Hodges is playing it under protest. Grudy, meanwhile, has been sent back to first base. Hodges is back out there arguing with Vincent, and Hahn's still out there. Score tied 1-1 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Now Hodges and Hahn come off the field. Hahn back to the on-deck circle to get his bat. So Grudy has been returned to first. Here is the announcement of the protest. Gil Hodges is playing the game under protest, and that is announced to the crowd. Now, what that means simply is that a report will be made to the office of Chub Feeney, the president of the league, who will have to rule on it. Meanwhile, the game continues. If the Mets win it, then the protest is dropped. If they lose it, then the president of the league has to make a ruling. Now, the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. It has to be a strike on Hahn, since it was ruled that the ball hit his bat. Nobody out. A runner at first in the bottom of the 7th. Score tied 1-1. The pitch to Hahn. He squares, bunts, and misses this time. It's 1-2. He bunted on the pitch and missed it. Bill Pappas has been in all the way for the Chicago Cubs. The Mets 1 run, 5 hits. The Cubs 1 run, 3 hits. Now, the Mets get Ray Sadecki up and throwing again in the bullpen. It's been a long time since Nolan Ryan has thrown. He's on deck. So Hodges might want to go to a pinch hitter. And besides that, his pitcher's been out a long, long time. Here's the pitch now to Hahn. Swings and sends a base hit into left field. On the ground, it's charged by Williams. Grudy goes to second. Williams up with the ball, plays it back. The Mets have runners at first and second. Well, they had runners at first and second 10 minutes ago until the umpiring crew reversed itself. But this time, apparently, they're going to stay there. Now, Ryan is scheduled up. This is a sacrifice situation if you ever saw one. Sadecki's in the bullpen. So who is Hodges going to send up to bunt? Ryan disappeared back into the dugout. No one has shown up as yet. And here comes Al Weiss. Al Weiss is coming up
for the sacrifice. Nolan Ryan is out of the ball game. Sadecki's in the bullpen. Ryan pitched 7 innings, allowed 1 run on 3 hits, struck out 7 and walked 7. Now the Cubs, fully expecting the sacrifice, pull Ernie Banks way in at first. Santo hanging around the bag to take a throw over there. Pitcher Mel Pappas will be covering on the third base side as they try for the force on Grudy. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Weiss squares and watches low for a ball. He did not offer. He was around in bunting stance, and it's ball 1. The argument, we are told, lasted 14 minutes. Here is the pitch to Weiss. Squares and watches low. Pappas goes behind 2-0. Bud Harrelson is on deck. The Mets won, the Cubs won in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Mets have runners at first and second. Grudy is at second. Don Hahn's at first. This will be a 2-0 pitch. Weiss squares. Watches inside, and now hung up is Grudy. He gets back to second, and the ball is popped out of the glove of Kessinger. Grudy is safe as the ball pops way out into short center field. Here was the play. Grudy had come off about halfway, and Bill Pappas is upset with his kid catcher. Pappas is very upset, and he is reading off his kid catcher. Here comes DeRocher out of the dugout. Grudy was hung up halfway. Breeden, instead of running with him at the ball, threw to second. The ball popped out of Kessinger's glove, and Grudy was safe. And right here in front of some 17,000 fans, Pappas reeled off his kid catcher. Ernie Banks comes in between pitcher and catcher now. DeRocher is out there. And Pappas now is screaming into the dugout. His dugout. Because members of his dugout have things to say to him about how he showed up. His teammate and catcher, Danny Breeden. Now that's all for Pappas. DeRocher takes Pappas out of the ball game. The count is 3-0 to Weiss. And it's going to be Stevenson coming in here. Earl Stevenson, who has the only save that the entire Chicago Cub pitching staff has for the season. Pappas really blew his coup. There is no error, no play as far as the official scoring is concerned. Grudy had come way down on the 2-0 pitch. It was inside out of the strike zone, and Grudy was hung up. And the book says if you're a veteran, you take that ball and you run directly at the runner and make him commit himself back there, and then you throw. Well, Breeden did not make him commit himself. Instead, he threw, and the ball popped out of the glove of Kessinger. It would have been a very close play in any case. And when he did, Pappas blew his stack at his catcher. And Earl Stevenson has come in now. He is a left-hander. He's had only one save. The whole club staff has had only one save, and that was against the New York Mets in a game in which he relieved Bill Pappas. Pappas is heading for the dugout, and he is being booed here by the fans at Shea Stadium. Pappas worked 6 innings. So far charged with 1 run on 6 hits. He struck out nobody, and he walked 3. Stevenson is making his 6th appearance. He has no won-or-loss record against the Mets in Chicago. He worked in 2 games. He worked 1 inning, allowed no runs and 1 hit. He worked 2 1/3, allowed no runs and 1 hit. Earl Stevenson. Oh, boy. Stevenson is warming up. When he is finished, it'll be a 3-0 pitch to Weiss. Keep in mind, Weiss is batting for Nolan Ryan, who is also out of the game. Score is tied 1-1 as the Mets try to take the lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning. In the National League, the Cardinals beat the Phillies tonight 7-3. Jerry Royce over Chris Short. Houston scheduled in Montreal, postponed because of rain. Pirates at San Francisco later. Cincinnati at Los Angeles later. Atlanta at San Diego later. The American League, the end of 4, the Yankees won, Minnesota won. Steve Klein against Jim Cott.
Kansas City beat Cleveland 2-0. Bruce Del Canton the winner, Steve Hargan the loser. The end of 4, Oakland leads Detroit 3-2. The end of 7, Baltimore leads California 4-1. In the middle of the 5th, it's Milwaukee 2, Washington 0. At the end of 4, Boston 1, Chicago 1. Now we're ready to play a 3-0 count. Still a sacrifice situation to Al Weiss. Ernie Banks at first in on the grass. 3-0 pitch. In for a called strike. Weiss bluffed one step toward first. 3 balls and 1 strike now. If Weiss should walk, the walk would be charged statistically against Pappas. Weiss looks down to sign man Eddie Yost at third. Med runners lead at first and second. Santo hanging around the bag at third to take a throw there. Stevenson will cover on the third base side. The 3-1 pitch is bunted up the third base line. They're going to let it roll, and it is rolling, and it hits the bag. And now, apparently did not hit the bag before. It hit something else down there because the foul ball sign is given. From our vantage point, it looked as though it hit the corner of the bag. Apparently, it did not and hopped over it. And Mel Steiner, right on the play, called it a foul ball. So, coming back is Weiss. Santo was hovering over the ball at the bag. It looked for all the world as though it had hit the corner. It did not. So they set up again with a 3-2 count. Runners at first and second. Ernie Banks looking into the dugout for directions on his position. He retreats back to the edge of the infield grass now. Still nobody out. Stevenson off the stretch. Here's the pitch. Swung on it on the ground to second. Beckert up with it. He goes to Kessinger for one. There is no throwback. On to third is Grudy. There are runners at first and third. So the force was from Beckert to Kessinger. And coming up now is Bud Harrelson. Weiss was swinging away on the 3-2 pitch. Bud Harrelson is 1 for 3 here tonight. As a switch hitter, he turns around about right-handed against Earl Stevenson. Ron Santo, the third baseman, comes over to have a word with Stevenson, his pitcher. Al Weiss, the runner at first. Jerry Grote, the runner at third with 1 away. The Cubs bring the infield in now to try to choke off the run at the plate. That's low for a ball. A factor, of course, there would be Harrelson's speed, and that DeRocher figures his chances of a double play would be diminished by the speed of Harrelson. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Check swing foul ball off to the right side out of play. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Grote at third, Weiss at first, 1 man out. Score tied 1-1 in the bottom of the 7th inning. This inning has had everything, including a rhubarb that lasted 14 minutes. Stevenson sets up. 1-1 pitch to Harrelson. Hit on the ground through the hole in the left for a base hit. Grudy comes on to score. Weiss goes to second base. Harrelson's on at first, and the Mets lead by a score of 2-1. That run statistically is charged against Mel Pappas, who now is the pitcher of record on the short side of a 2-1 score. So the Mets have runners at first and second. And left-hand batter Ken Boswell is being called back. The Cubs have a left-hand pitcher out there. So we'll get a righty-lefty switch here, I believe. We will. Boswell takes the helmet off and disappears into the Met dugout. Don Clendenin is coming up. Clendenin will bat for Boswell. Leo DeRocher has 2 right-handers out there warming up in case he wants to go to one of them, and he might. He's had Regan out there for a long time. Here comes DeRocher. He wants a right-hander. That'll be all for Stevenson. Well, the manager anticipates these things when he makes his move. Bill Bonham is out there with the vulture, Phil Regan. So it'll be the Bonham or Regan. And I can't tell you which one yet, although DeRocher has sent out his sign. The decision's been made, but they're both still throwing. The umpires are now trying to pantomime the sign out there, saying, "Come on, somebody." It's the Vulture. And you want to know how they made the pantomime? They pantomime wings flying. To get the Vulture in, Phil Regan. So he's coming in now to make his 8th appearance of the year. He has no won or lost record. Last time out against Montreal, he worked an inning and gave up 3 runs on 3 hits. Regan has not been all that effective this year. He has not been credited with a save so far. So Stevenson is credited with a 1/3 of an inning. He's charged with no runs. He gave up a hit, struck out none, and walked none. Regan has arrived at the dugout in the electric cart. Walking to the mound where DeRocher awaits him with the baseball. The Mets are leading 2-1. They have runners at first and second, 1 man out, and Clendenin will be coming up. Regan is getting checked out. The New York Mets and the Chicago Cubs, and what a night at Shea Stadium. This is the second game of a 4-game series. The opener last night, they played 11 innings before Tommy Agee knocked Jerry Grote in with a winning run in the 11th. There's another game scheduled here tomorrow night, in case you'd like to pick up your ticket somewhere around the town tomorrow morning. Jim McAndrew will go for the Mets, and Fergie Jenkins, the ace of the Chicago mound staff, will go for the Cubbies. Then Thursday afternoon, Tom Seaver will go for the Mets against Bill Hands of the Cubs. In that game at Cleveland, a twilight start tonight. Kansas City shut out Cleveland 2-0. And if Steve Hargan didn't have enough troubles as the losing pitcher, on a play in which he covered first base, he broke an ankle. Now, Regan has finished his warm-ups. Clendenin is coming around to step in, batting for Boswell. Foley will doubtless go in to play second base unless Weiss stays in the ballgame, which he might. Clendenin's hitting .275. He has 2 homers and 5 runs batted in. Weiss is the runner at second, and Harrelson's the runner at first. Regan off the stretch with the pitch. Way outside and low for a ball. Count is 1-0, and Dave Marshall is on deck. The Mets are leading 2-1. Now again, Regan sets up. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. The Mets have 7 hits, and the Cubs have 3. Although out of the ball game, Nolan Ryan is pitcher of record on the long side of this 2-1 score. Ray Sadecki is the man who's been warming in the bullpen. Regan now sets up off his 1-1. Swung on, hit high into the air. In left center field, Williams is going back. Billy Williams back there, makes the catch. Weiss tags at second and moves on over to third after the catch. Throw comes into second base to keep Harrelson from moving up. 2 men are out, runners at first and third, and Dave Marshall's the batter. Ball was hit into left center a long way, so that Weiss was able to tag at second and move to third after the catch by Billy Williams. Dave Marshall is 1 for 2 and a walk. Batting average of .378 for the season. Regan takes the sign from catcher Danny Breeden. Here's a swing and a ground ball towards second. Taken there by Beckert. He goes to Banks, and the side is out. So Regan came in to put out the foul as the Mets picked up a run on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left. And at the end of 7 full innings of play, the score is the Mets 2 and the Cubs 1.
Remember Fibber McGee in his overstuffed closet when he opened it and an avalanche poured out? It got a big laugh. You too probably have more in your closets than you know, but it won't be a laughing matter if you have a fire and find that your insurance won't stretch to cover everything. It's only sensible to be sure. You can be sure by calling Fields & Baxter Agency Incorporated at 762-4647. They'll not only help you find out what the things in your closets are worth, they'll help you measure the value of your home furnishings, clothing, and other possessions you've accumulated over the years. Nobody likes to pay double for their purchases, but that's the spot you'll be in if your home contents are damaged and you have to pay for replacement out of your own pocket. Don't run that risk. Bring your coverage in line with your values. Just call Fields & Baxter Insurance Agency Incorporated at 762-4647 or stop at their office at 14 North Market Street in Johnstown.
Order. Sadecki comes in to do the pitching and will bat number 2 in the Met batting order. Nolan Ryan pitched 7 innings, charged with 1 run on 3 hits, struck out 7, walked 7, one of them intentionally. Sadecki is making his 4th appearance of the year. He has no won or loss record. Last time at Houston, he worked the 3rd of an inning, allowed no runs, no hits. First time out, he started, worked 6 2/3 against Cincinnati, allowed 1 run on 5 hits. At Chicago, he worked 1 1/3, gave up 1 run on 3 hits. Left-hander Ray Sadecki.
Right fielder, Johnny Callison, number 6.
John Callison will lead off for the Cubs here in the top of the 8th inning. Callison has doubled, struck out, and walked so far tonight. He doubled a drive and a run in the 5th inning. Sadecki deals a pitch, and it is high for a ball. It's 1-0. Keep in mind that the Mets are playing the game under protest. If the Mets win, the protest, of course, will be dropped. Sadecki's 1-0 pitch to Callison. It's in tight, 2-0. In the Met infield now is Ed Kranepool at first, Al Weiss at second, Bud Harrelson at short, and Bob Aspromonte at third. Cleon Jones is in left, Don Hahn in center, and Dave Marshall in right. Jerry Grote is the catcher. Sadecki deals 2-0. Fastball inside, and he's gone behind 3-0 now to Callison. Joe Pepitone is on deck. 3-0 pitch. In for a call strike. It's 3-1. Callison looks down to Peanuts Lowry, the sign man at third, to see if he's turned loose on 3-1, and you'd guess that he is. 3-1 delivery. High and tight, walked him. It's a leadoff walk to Callison here in the 8th inning. As Callison goes to first base, we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
You are listening to WYZR FM, coming your way from Johnstown, New York. 104.9 on your radio now.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Ralph Kiner and Bob Murphy at Shea Stadium in New York, where the Mets are leading the Chicago Cubs by a score of 2-1. In the top half of the 8th inning, the Cubs have a runner on at first, and Pepitone is coming up. Double, struck out, and was intentionally walked. Sadecki's pitch. Check swing taken low, and it's ball 1. And now it is a change to a strike as Grudy asks the plate umpire Engel to ask for help from Mel Steiner. Steiner says he swung. Pepitone now is pantomiming down to Steiner, saying
something like, well, what do you got to do with it? He's glaring down to Steiner now. It is a strike to Joe Pepitone. Has Steiner changed it? Here's a pitch breaking low, and it's 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sadecki again checks. Deals a pitch that's lined out into right center. It's going to go a long way. Hahn is over, cuts it off. Callison will pull up at third. Weiss runs the ball back, tosses into Harrelson. Runners at first and third as Pepe holds at first base. Now Ernie Banks is being called back to the Cub dugout for a word with DeRocher. The Chicago manager wants to talk to Ernie Banks. Sadecki is in trouble, so the Mets start action in the bullpen. Danny Frisella is up and throwing. Frisella is throwing in the Met bullpen. That was a 1-1 pitch that Pepitone lined deep into right center. Hahn did a good job of getting over to cut it off. DeRocher is going to make a move as Ernie Banks takes off the helmet and is walking down the line in the dugout. Well, there have not been many times when Banks was removed for a pinch hitter, but he's 39 years of age, and he's being removed for one right here. Jim Hickman. Jim Hickman comes out of the dugout. So Jim Hickman will bat for Ernie Banks. Banks tonight struck out, walked, and struck out.
Batting for Banks, number 48, Jim Hickman.
Hickman, the right-hand batter, batting for Ernie Banks. People who care don't litter, and the people of Rheingold care. They ask you to keep America beautiful. Here comes Gil Hodges out now. He may want Frisella to pitch to Hickman. Hickman has a batting average of 190, 1 home run, and 5 runs batted in. Hodges walking slowly out, giving Frisella a little more time to throw down there in the bullpen. Hodges talks it over with Ray Sadecki. Could be a strategy conference. Bob Engel, the plate umpire, starts walking slowly toward the mound. Hodges hasn't even looked at the bullpen yet. Engel has arrived at the mound. Sadecki stays in. Hodges turns and goes back toward the dugout. So it will be Ray Sadecki facing Jim Hickman at the plate. The Mets are leading by a score of 2-1. The Cubs are batting in the 8th. They have runners at first and third, and there is nobody out. Hickman with a wide stance at the plate was one of the original Mets. Sadecki's pitch breaks in there for a called strike. Started Hickman off with a breaking pitch. Cubbies keep the bullpen warm with 2 right-handers down there. Don't have any more left-handers in the bullpen. Stevenson was it. Now Sadecki with the pitch to Hickman. Low for a ball. It's 1-1. Ron Tompkins, the submariner, is throwing down there with Jim Colburn in the Cubby bullpen. Callison leads at third, Pepitone at first. Sadecki checks him and deals a pitch. Foul back and out of play. It's 1-2. Another breaking pitch. Danny Breeden, the catcher, is on deck. That does not mean that he'll hit at all. Nobody out. So Sadecki is simply trying to get by Hickman here. Gone ahead 1-2. He sets up and checks. Now the pitch. Swung on it on the ground. Back to the mound. Taken by Sadecki, and he runs at the runner and falls down and now makes the play. Makes the play, and he's out at third base as Aslamani made a tag on base runner Callison.
These weird plays continue to happen. It was a dribbler back to the mound, and Callison had come down halfway. Sadecki came up with the ball and realized that Callison was waiting for him to make a throw. So he started to run right at the base runner and slipped down. When he did, Callison had held up halfway. So when Sadecki slipped down, he had to throw the ball while lying on the ground. Aspromonte came up to meet it. As Callison was scrambling to get back, the throw was low, was taken low by Aspromonte, who then made the tag on Callison for the out, and Aspromonte fell down. Runners at first and second, one man out. Danny Breeden is up. Simply a 1-5 play on the fielder's choice. Breeden watches the pitch in for a called strike. Pepitone's the runner at second. Hickman's the runner at first. Danny Breeden has flied to center, popped to second, grounded out third to first. Breeden is the number 8 man in the batting order. He's tired of waiting and backs back. Bill Regan is on deck, wearing the jacket. Again, Sadecki's pitch. Curveball in there for a called strike. It's 0-2 to Breeden. Breeden has a few words at plate umpire Bob Engel. The Mets 2, the Cubs 1 here in the top half of the 8th inning. Pepitone leads at second, Hickman at first. This will be an 0-2 pitch to Breeden. Swung on it on the ground to third, taken by Aspromonte. He's going to have to go across to first, and not in time. Aslamani couldn't get the ball out of his glove, and Breeden legged it out for a base hit, and the bases are loaded. Now we're going to have a batter for Regan. An error charge against Aslamani. It's going to be Hal Breeden. Hal Breeden, who is Danny's brother, is going to come up to bat for Regan. Hal Breeden's been up 16 times and had 2 hits. He's hitting 125. That was a high-hopping ground ball down to Aspromonte. Looked as though he had his choice of plays. He was going to go to second with it. Try the double play that way. He could have gone to third for the forced error, but couldn't get the ball out of his glove. And when he finally threw to first, then it was too late. Here comes Gil Hodges out of the Met dugout. Purcella's warm by now if he wants him. Hal Breeden's a right-hand batter. Hodges still has the likes of Popovich, J.C. Martin in his dugout. And the sign goes for Purcella. That's all for Ray Sadecki. Sadecki heads for the dugout. Purcella is coming in to make his 8th appearance. He's won 1 and he's lost 1. Last time out at Houston, he worked 2 1/3, gave up 3 runs on 4 hits. He has had saves for Koosman and Ryan. Still only 1 man out. Purcella has arrived at the mound now.
Ladies and gentlemen, now pitching for New York, number 34, Ken Boswell.
Paul Popovich now is coming out to bat. He's a switch hitter, so he'll be batting left against Purcella. Paul Popovich is sent up to bat for Hal Breeden. So Breeden has been in and out of the ball game without ever having seen a pitch. Paul Popovich is hitting .056. He's 1 for 18 with 2 runs batted in. Cardinals beat the Phils 7-3. Houston and Montreal rained out. Pirates and Giants later. Cincinnati and Dodgers later. Atlanta and San Diego later. In the middle of the sixth inning, Yankees won. Minnesota Twins won. Steve Klein against Jim Cott. Kansas City beat Cleveland 2-0. Bruce Del Canton the winner and Steve Hargan the loser. Hargan loser more ways than one. He broke an ankle, too. The end of 6, Oakland 4, Detroit 2. Final score, Baltimore 4, Cal Angels 1. The end of 6, the Milwaukee Brewers 2 and the Washington Senators nothing. Middle of the 6th, the Boston Red Sox 2 and the Chicago White Sox 1. Right here, it's the New York Mets 2 and the Chicago Cubs 1. The Cubs are batting in the top of the 8th inning. The bases are loaded. There is one man out, and Popovich is up. Pepitone's at third. Hickman is at second. Danny Breeden is at first. Priscilla works straight away. That pitch breaks low and inside for a ball. Harrelson at short. Weiss at second are set at double play depth. That's high for a ball, and Priscilla's gone behind 2-0. Don Kessinger is next in the batting order. The bases are loaded. This will be a 2-0 pitch, and the take might very well be on. Breaking pitch, and it's in there for a called strike. 2-1. Didn't offer. The 2-1 delivery is high, so now Priscilla's gone behind 3-1, and he's one pitch away from walking in the tying run. This will be a 3-1 delivery, and it's on the way. Swung on and missed. It's a full count of 3-2. Bases loaded, one man out. Priscilla goes to the rosin bag. Looks in to take a sign from Jerry Grote. Cub runners lead all around. The payoff pitch. Swung on and pops up foul back of the plate. Grote coming to the screen, and Grote makes the catch. Priscilla covers the plate. No play there. Grote runs it back. 2 men out. Bases still loaded as Grote took that ball 1 or 2 steps from the screen back of the plate. Don Kessinger's coming up. He has walked, flied to left, grounded out second to first, grounded out to first base unassisted. Kessinger is a switch hitter who'll be batting left, and he's hitting .206 with 6 runs batted in. He's a bat manipulator, tough man to strike out. The Mets 2, the Cubs 1. Cubs batting in the 8th with the bases loaded, and now 2 men out. Priscilla working straight away. Pitches in for a called strike to Kessinger. He's followed by Glenn Beckert in the Cub batting order. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's in for strike 2 as Kessinger started to swing and could not pull the trigger. It was in the strike zone, and it's 0-2. Cub runners leading at first, second, and third. Grudy sends out a sign to Danny Priscilla. He's into the motion. Here's the pitch. Low, and it's 1-2. Kessinger wanted that ball looked at as it was down in the dirt. So umpire Bob Engel asked for it to be tossed in. He looks it over, takes it out of play. Pops another one in Grudy's glove. Grudy now is rubbing this one up, tossing it back out to Danny Priscilla. Priscilla walks to the infield grass to work on the ball a little more, goes to the rosin bag. This will be a 1-2 pitch, and it's on the way. Hit on the ground toward second. It's Weiss there. He has it, goes to first in time, and they're out of the inning, maintaining the lead.
Porcella put out the fire. Kessinger grounded out second to first. It's no run. One hit, one error, and 3 men left. And in the middle of the 8th inning, the score is the Mets 2 and the Cubs 1. And now
This is William B. Williams. Today, young men and women are looking for careers that are meaningful, relevant, challenging. Well, I know 200 of these careers that are looking for you. Careers you've probably never even thought of or even heard about. Inhalation therapist, public health educator, professional nurse. And I mean men as well as women nurses. Or how about medical records technician, physical therapist, music therapist? The list is virtually endless because the need is virtually endless. So if you haven't decided what to do with your life, how about saving somebody else's? For free information about health careers, write Health Careers, Box 200, Albany, New York, 12201. That's Box 200, Albany, New York, 12201. Health Careers. Meaningful, relevant, rewarding.
Changes now for the Chicago Cubs. Jim Hickman stays in place of Banks at first base. And Ron Tompkins comes in to do the pitching. Ron Tompkins is making his 5th appearance. He has a record of no wins and 1 loss. He lost to the New York Mets in Chicago, and he worked 2 innings and gave up 1 run on 2 hits in a 12-inning game. He's a submariner. He sweeps that ball in there, a la Ted Abernathy. So Hickman bats 7th and Tompkins bats 9th. You know, Leo DeRocha was faced with an interesting situation there in the bottom of the 8th when his catcher, Danny Breeden, came up. Under other circumstances, I would guess he might have been inclined to hit for Breeden. Under the circumstances of the manner in which pitcher Mel Pappas left, sort of showing up Breeden on the field, it would have been a little too much to have hit for him shortly after that. Of course, Breeden got on an error by Bob Aspromonte to further complicate the circumstances there in the top half of the 8th inning. But now the bottom of the 8th, Cleon Jones is coming up to face Ron Tompkins. Cleon is 1 for 3 here tonight. The Mets are leading 2-1. Danny Breeden sends out a sign. And the pitch in for a called strike. Ed Kranepool is kneeling in the on-deck circle. The Mets have 2 runs, 7 hits. The Cubs 1 run, 4 hits. Here's a swing and a foul ball down into the dirt. 2 strikes. Jones now swings about a time or 2 and steps back. Time is called. That's low and pops out of the glove of Breeden and rolls away. We were referring to Breeden a moment ago as a kid catcher. He isn't that. He's young as far as major league experience is concerned. He'll be 29 years of age his next birthday. He is the older of the 2 Breeden brothers, as a matter of actual fact. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And it's low and away, and Cleon almost went and not quite. It's 2-2. Nobody on, nobody out in the bottom of the 8th inning. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. And in attempting to throw the ball back, it struck either Cleon or his bat and bounced off to the right side. There is little that can happen that has not happened in this ball game tonight. 1 away. Ed Kranepool is up. Grounded out, and grounded into a force play. Pitchers of record are Nolan Ryan on the long side and Mel Pappas on the short side. Swinging a drive foul on the right field line, out of play. It's strike one. Aspromonte is on deck. Kranepool's batting average right now is .319. Tompkins pitch. Swung on and hit one hop to the second baseman. Taken there by Beckert. He plays on over to Hickman, and there are two men out. That will bring up Aspromonte, who got the Mets into the scoring column with his first New York Met home run in the bottom of the second inning. He's 1 for 3 for the night. In case you want to look ahead to the top of the ninth inning, Danny Frisella will be facing Glenn Beckert, Billy Williams, and Ron Santo. Tompkins' pitch to Aspromonte is low for a ball. Again, Danny Breeden sends out the sign. 1-0 pitch. Submarine high. It's 2-0 to Aspromonte. Jerry Grote is on deck. He's continued his hitting. He's 1 for 2 in a walk. Grote's batting average is now up to .352 for the season. Here's a 2-0 pitch to Aspromonte, and it's in for a strike, 2-1. DeRocha down in the dugout is in a discussion with one of his coaches. Here's a 2-1 pitch. It's outside for a ball. And there have been things happen in this ball game that will be discussed for months and years. At one point, we had the 4 umpires in a discussion and not in agreement. This will be a 3-1 pitch. It's on the way. And it's in there for a called strike as Aspromonte took a long step toward first. Comes back now with a 3-2 count. 2 men out, nobody on base. Here is the payoff pitch. Hit on the ground to second. Glenn Beckert has it squared. He's up with it, placed to Hickman. And the side is out. Aspromonte grounding out second to first. Side is retired, nothing across, and at the end of 8 full innings of play, the score is the Mets 2 and the Cubs 1.
Chances are there's a mentally retarded child next door, or across the street, or down the block. Chances are all too good, especially in poverty areas where 75% of all mental retardation is found. But chances are also good for saving many children from retardation if we move fast enough and early enough with maternal and child health care, improved nutrition, and educational daycare centers to develop constructive learning and social patterns in the early years. You can help your neighbor's child towards a normal, productive life. Encourage your public school system, church, business, industry, civic, or fraternal group to start a daycare center for early childhood education in your community. These children need your help. Don't close them out. This message has been brought to you by the President's Committee on Mental Retardation, Washington, D.C. 20202.
And now the New York Mets take a 1-run lead into the top half of the ninth inning. Danny Frisella will face Glenn Beckert. Scheduled up, Glenn Beckert, Billy Williams, and Ron Santo. Beckert is a right-hand batter who has been called out on strikes, walked, grounded out second to first, and lined out to left field. Gil Hodges has explained that the basis of the Mets' protest was the fact that the umpires reversed a decision that they had made. And so he based his protest on the reversal that occurred during the long argument. Frisella now with his pitch to Beckert. It's in there for a call strike. As Beckert shortened up as though to bunt, it was a breaking pitch in the strike zone. Frisella makes effective use of a forkball. It breaks down.
Here's a pitch that's low for a ball, a pitch taught him by Diego Segui. 1-1 to Beckert. Swinging a ground ball to third. Aspromonte has it on his knees, up and throwing in time. So Aspromonte took the hard-hit ground ball. Was on his knees, got up and threw on. There's one away. When you're protecting a one-run lead, that first one is a big one. Now Billy Williams is coming up, the powerhouse in the Cub batting order. Tonight he has walked, lined to left, struck out swinging, and went out to right. Williams is batting .301 for the season. Left-hand batter had a home run last night. Swing and a miss. It's strike one. The Mets 2 runs and 7 hits. The Cubs 1 run and 4 hits. Top half of the ninth inning, 1 man out and nobody on base. Porcello's pitch swung on and missed. It's 2 strikes to Billy Williams. Ron Santo is waiting on deck. Grudy sends out the sign. The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed. Porcello on 3 pitches. Strikes out Billy Williams. 2 Cubs out in the ninth, and Ron Santo, the field captain, is coming up. Struck out, fouled out, doubled, and fouled out. The Mets are playing the game under protest. If they win, the protest, of course, is dropped. Here's the pitch to the right-hand batter. Hit on the ground to short. Taken on a big hop by Harrelson. He placed the first, and the ball game is over. The New York Mets have won it. Danny Porcello gets the save. Nolan Ryan gets a win. The New York Mets go up in the series 2 games over the Chicago Cubs with 2 games yet to go in this set. And so the protest will be dropped as the New York Mets came back to maintain their lead and win the ball game. In the ninth inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, none left.